Everyone, I would like you all to gather around the table and let me tell you all a Voden fable. To gather around for the tale of these survivors, the tale of the looming corruption and a jaded destiny. For this be the infamous tale of the Valley of Dreams and the legendary fable of the Soulbound. Previously, our heroes would continue as the likes of Zaman. The Warforged Jewel would be feared from wild magic and be ambushed alongside Bushido Blademaster and Azora Lunista. As they were pelted with javelins from corrupted orcs, they'd witness an Orog chieftain corrupted and leading the strike. And upon hearing the sounds of battle, our heroes would leap into the fray. With near-death experiences and agony, gore, and core, nearly slain and tossed out to the side after giving it their all in strength in this very battle. It would be the likes of that of Adidark, while all his allies teetered on the edges of life and death. The Shifter Barbarian would deal the final devastating blow with their Great Club, decapitating the Orog as he vanished into an astral light of death. The individual would shatter out into millions of tiny pieces, and with that, the day would be won. That said, survivors, listen now. With you all wounded, bloodied, and victorious, what lies in store for you all next in session 5 of Valley of Dreams? With 5 journeys completed, another one begins now. That said, everyone, let us begin with today's session and pick exactly where we left off. Alright, so, I'm going to send you guys over to the most recent map. Not the Arena of the Gods. You are not there. You guys are here.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Hey, man, I can only handle so much shenanigans. I can't handle another group in that fucking place. Oh, man. Oh, man. That said, let me get you guys your little bit of ambience. Let me turn this stuff off. Jesus. All right. Yeah, this is fine.
I forgot how a lot of us is not looking the best.
Yeah.
Wait, where's Gore?
He's with Jade.
Hanging out with Jade.
Hey, hold up. Hold your horse. Get behind the place. No, I'm kidding. But so where we left off, Adidark, as you deal the final blow, the orc head flies up to the roof before shattering in an astral light into millions of tiny pieces. The body sort of slumps over as you and everyone else around begins to watch as it freezes over like ice before shattering as well, similar to the head. The only thing remaining on its person seems to be just its apparel, its armor, and as well as the weapon he carried.
I know your language.
As you all stand there, bloodied, wounded, but victorious, what do you all say? And what do you all do?
Wait, is it me or did someone hear like something talking?
I did as well. I thought I was bugging.
Yeah, I'm like, am I the only one who hears that?
Gore yells from down the hall. Damn green orcs!
You hear voices in your head. No, I'm kidding. That was on me.
I hear voices all the time.
Azora will be panting, and she'll just be, Zaman, is everything all right? You ran off in such a hurry.
Zaman says, those crystals I picked up, they seem to be, I don't know, they did something to me. But I think I'm good now. I apologize for getting us into this situation which we were unprepared for.
Greedy one, you said not to leave the rest of the group!
Is someone talking? I don't see anybody. Who's that? Goa. Were you saying something?
You do see as Gore begins to sort of flitter on over and begins to immediately make themselves known towards you as they approach.
Did
You played the greedy one and ran away again.
Nah, I was on the fact that some magic that came from these crystals.
Simple answer, stop being greedy.
We need this to survive.
We need to survive greedy one.
In this situation, Gore is not correct. However, it's probably best we find some place to rest and heal our wounds before we attack each other. Now, Sensei, you said that the boss dropped some stuff.
Yeah, so the only things left right before you is kind of like below Gore at the moment. Seems to be really just his armor, his giant great axe, and just really his apparel. Granted, this was a massive orc in size, so that said, his armor is also pretty massive, and as well as his apparel.
What type of armor is it?
Make a investigation check for me.
Yeah,
As metallurgy, make it with advantage, actually, Zaman.
Yeah, Azora said to you, Zaman, that you should look into trying to. She was saying, "You should look into integrating this into your armor."
With a 20 on your investigation check, you would know this to be plate mail armor. That is very, very good craftsmanship and work.
Zaman would say, "Yeah, I think you're right. It may be very useful." He pick up the armor, and he would say, "This great axe, Adidoc, this may be good for you, or maybe even you, Kara."
Now, one thing I will say about this armor, when you're even just picking it up, it is massive, so it takes you a little bit of, like, actually exertion to just even hoist it up yourself, but you're able to do so easy enough, though.
Copy. This is quite heavy.
Does the axe look any bit familiar to Gore?
From what you can tell, make just an investigation check, Gore. Simple roll. Natural 20 for a total of 22. Familiar, not necessarily as if like, oh, I know this axe, but you do know a good weapon when you come across one. From what you can tell, it definitely seems to have at least a little bit of magical properties, which is actually kind of rare, considering they were green orcs and they typically don't really deal with magic at all. But this weapon definitely is special, at least in some degree. Not sure how, you'd probably need to make an Arcana check for that one. But other than that, seems to be just a magical sort of great axe. With a 6, it hit harder somehow.
Can Azora roll like an investigation check just to see if there's anything amongst any of these bodies? As she looks around, she assumes many met their fate here.
Sure thing. Yeah, investigation check for me, Azora. And I'm fixing this over on my end. Boop. 13. Looking around, between just the bits and pieces of just carcasses and bones just sort of scattered about amongst the ground. Now, they seem to be kind of just, some are kind of like sort of tossed about, others are actually kind of just buried underneath. It's kind of like just looking past them, they come in a wider range from human or different types of humanoids. Besides that, not much in this sort of area besides this sort of chest over here off to the side. A similar one to what you saw in the other room from the beginning of this sort of cave.
Does this one have a lock on it too?
Yes, it does.
Investigation check to see if it's booby trapped, or will that 13 cover that?
You'll probably need to do another investigation. So real quick.
Okay. Yuck.
Oh, with an 8, well, you do know it's locked. Not entirely sure either. You didn't necessarily see any booby traps, but you're not entirely sure whether it is trapped at all. So.
Okay. She'll yell that out to everyone. That there's another. There seems to be another chest here. Does anybody have any proficiency in opening these things?
I think the answer is probably the same as before. We should certainly rest, at least for an hour, before exploring more of this cave.
Agreed.
With the commander dispatch, there probably shouldn't be too much of a threat left in this cave.
They were never a threat.
And Gore is looking at the axe like really quick.
All right. The axe itself is almost 4 times your size. But
Azor, go ahead.
that said, it is, from what you can know, especially with the investigation, this is considered a great axe. It is a heavy, heavy weapon.
Gore tries to pick it up.
You try to pick it up, make a strength check, my friend.
Hey.
You are considered tiny, not even small, but tiny.
Zaman is going to cast guidance on him and say, "You probably shouldn't pick this up. This is much bigger than you."
Shouldn't have said that to Gore. Roll a
Yeah, I
d4.
I said D4.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I lost the D4 for a second.
No. You got a little bit of feedback coming from your mic, Tito.
Oh.
Every now and again. I think it's like the music playing in.
Did he make the check? I don't see the check in here. I see
Yeah,
investigations
for
from
some
Azora.
reason. No, I see it. So, for whatever reason, like tabbed chat log or whatever, you gotta like switch from in character to roll back to roles or something. And then it updates. It's
yeah,
weird. I don't know
yeah.
why it's doing that. I think I
Yeah,
I think
I
if
see it
clear the
now.
Chat. Hold on, I'm gonna clear the chat real quick. Maybe it's a lot of stuff or whatever. In it, but it was a 8, right?
Yeah.
Alright. That said, with a total of an 8, nah. You try to lift as much as you possibly can, and you almost strain yourself for a bit, but it's not seeming to budge. You're able to lift it off the ground a little bit, but not enough strength is put behind it to be able to, like, kind of lift it up, really. Hold it, you know?
And I pick the axe up?
Yeah, I was about to say, can I try to pick it up?
Yeah, you guys just pick it up.
Okay.
Chris, do you want it?
I will look at it.
That's strange for an orc to have.
If you're not gonna pick it up, I'm gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I picked it up since I was already helping Gore. I looked at it and I say, Addy Dark, are you sure you don't want to use this? If not, I could probably use it for myself.
Maybe you should use the axe. You won't be so scared in the dark. Flee us into battle like this.
It had nothing to do with the darkness. Can I?
Be careful with that. The orcs don't usually use axes like that.
Zaman will make an Arcana check to see if I can tell the magic that's on the axe.
Sure thing. As you
In
do.
the meantime, Azor would reiterate what Agni said, that we should probably at least take an hour's rest.
Actually, would detect magic work better?
That's also a thing you can do. That'll take a ritual. It'll be a ritual casting spell, so it'll take a little bit of time. But
It says at will because I have it from Prefix.
well, while you're sort of doing that, you eventually see a familiar sort of thing. And that of a sort of circular individual with another circle inside, 2 fins, and you see as they just begin to sort of almost pat you on the back, and as that happens, oh boy, you're about to cast detect magic on everybody. But but as you do,
30-foot radius. Jeez.
oh my god, I want to know everybody's magic. He says.
Terrible.
But as I was saying, but you see as the individual begins to sort of tap you on the back, and then as it does, you feel a little bit sort of invigorated for a moment before they explode out into a bit of flames. No more. You receive an inspiration point from chat, Zaman.
Gracias. Thank you.
Alright. So detect magic will take you 10 minutes. That said, while you're doing that, Agni, make a investigation check and do so with advantage. And,
Okay. Nice.
oh,
I got a 4.
a 4.
I see what kind of session this is gonna be.
Oh man. Oh goodness.
20s.
That said, as this sort of happens, you're sort of looking at it, but you're more sort of worried about that of your wounds, to really pay too much attention to it. You do know at least the great axe is it's definitely of good quality in nature with your sort. It's I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like you're just sort of gazing towards it, but you're kind of looking towards the intricacies of it. It's definitely finely made, but could use a little bit of resharpening. You get that at least with a 4.
He'll keep that to himself, but right now he's probably sitting down, more so tending to his wounds. He's gonna take this short rest, whether people want to or not.
Easy enough. You sit down and begin to sort of place your scythe beside you, or begin your rest. Don't hit the short rest button or anything yet, because who knows what happens in the meantime.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that said, Azor, what are you doing off to the side over here? You're right beside this chest.
Yeah, no, she was just short resting where Zaman left her.
All right. Easy enough. Gore, what about you?
He would come here about a quick one, and I don't know. Gore would look at the chest. Would Gore open the chest?
Oh yeah, she's gonna just move all over.
It's like, oh, okay.
I don't know if Gore would actually open the chest. I've actually had him open the chest before. I guess he'd look at it, but that's about it.
Oh. I guess I also should mention this and all this stuff. Because I don't think I ever did. You guys can still, even if you don't have like thieves tools or lock picking tools, you can still try to pick a lock and all that stuff. Granted, the DC becomes a lot higher, but you can still try that sort of thing. I don't know if I ever mentioned that to you guys or not. So
You mentioned it when I looked at the chest, but I was hoping to find a key.
yeah.
Is Gore like small enough where he could like reach his hands in the...
I would say if you wanted to try to pick the lock, Gore, you might have advantage with this one. Might. Granted, the DC is still the same, but you have a higher chance of doing it.
Well, let's do it. Why not?
Time of hands. Let's do it. 15. You did disadvantage. Hold up. So 16 total. What's the? Yeah, that'll be enough for it. As you're, or barely, but as you're able to sort of reach inside, you probably have to take a little bit of your weapon and try to sort of almost pick a little bit of the lock and almost break a portion of it. As it does, you see as it begins to drop down onto the ground, it seems to be the chest is open. No, or ready to be open. That said, do you open it?
Can you make sure it doesn't look funky?
Make an investigation check. 14 seems all good.
All right, 14 seems enough. First is gonna the chest. He's gonna open it.
Actually, funny enough, this is actually a little bit helpful for you guys. As you look inside, you see many things to sort of, I'm not even joking, many things that actually tend to your wounds and whatnot. Bits of health potions as well as bandages and rags. You guys gain 3 stocks of the medicine resource.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Hey, question, Sensei. You rolled a D100 earlier. Was that for me, or do I still need to roll that?
Oh, I need you to roll it. This is to decide where the band was on your or which arm.
Of course.
25. I believe that means it is still on the arm that is not corrupted.
Yep.
Make sure. Yep, 1 through 50. It's on the right, and yeah, it's still on the arm, like the one that you still have.
Makes sense. I figured as much.
Yeah, and Gore would be like, perhaps we can heal up with some of this. The Green Orcs were definitely ready for a fight.
Yeah, he would just show the medicine and such he got from there.
But the rest, like I told you before, a quick one is always a choice.
And Gore would be like,
hold on. You guys don't have to eat this much. Yep. Boom, boom.
I guess I wasn't going to take a short rest. I don't know if that's a problem. We all just like.
So yeah, if you wanted like just go around and like just sort of explore the cave or just sit I mean, regardless, you don't. It really just depends on what you got or what you kind of do. If you're just like actively adventuring, like you're going out of the cave and all this stuff, and you're just starting to like climb up the mountain, then yeah, that wouldn't be you taking a short rest. If you're hitting stuff, casting spells, and all that stuff, then yeah, you wouldn't take a short rest. But if you're just walking around, if you're just waiting, then yeah, that still counts as a rest, anyways.
Okay. I think I'd turn to. Can you do that trick on the other chest? Follow me.
Listen, little ones. We'll see if there are more supplies. Greedy one, don't get your hands in anything else to get you hurt. Then we rest.
Addy Dark will turn, yell to Zaman. Come with that axe. We may need it.
I guess Zaman will come with his axe.
You got it. Pick it up, and you begin to walk towards the likes of Addy Dark.
He says,
Well, actually, hold on.
Torch.
Hold on. Back that up. Back it up. You're still ritual casting at the moment.
Oh yeah, you're right. Never mind.
So you gotta probably converse that to him.
I'm in the middle of figuring out what this axe does. I will meet you over there in about 10 minutes.
I can wait.
All right. Easy enough. While you're doing that, Cora, what are you doing at this moment in time?
She is resting. But I will say her health is too high. I don't think I ended with full health. I'm pretty sure there was hands put on me.
No.
Oh man.
It says I'm uninjured, but I know that's not right.
No, that's definitely a lie.
Yeah, that's not right.
Yeah.
I know that's fact. Yeah, you are
That's-
full health. Hold on, you should be at 4.
Yeah, okay, that sounds about right. I don't know how I got to full health, but
Oh man. Alright, everything should be good though. And let me know if anybody else's health is acted up, whether it's too low or too high, yada yada.
I'm also at full health.
That seems appropriate.
I don't know if you
I'm
you
not
definitely
sure
weren't at
why.
full health, but you didn't take too much damage, I don't think.
Yeah, because I used that potion last session too. So
We'll say, yeah, we'll say about this much. Maybe it's more. I think you'll be fine though. I think everybody else is good though. Yeah. All right. So, are you guys for reference, those who are taking rest, are you guys taking a long rest or a short rest?
Short rest.
Yeah, short rest.
yeah.
Short. Still got spells.
All right. So, we'll look over towards the Mon and Adidark. So after the detect magic ritual begins to finish, you begin to see as the entire axe begins to sort of shimmer with a sort of or arcane silhouette. And you realize what this weapon does. It's pretty simple, nothing too special, but special enough. It is simply a +1 great axe. Meaning, those person who was to wield this would have a higher chance to hit and would also do more damage upon hitting.
Copy. Zaman will communicate that to Addy Dark, and I guess he'd take it with him as they go to investigate this other chest.
To the chest all the way at the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys can drag your tokens over there.
I'm assuming I still have a torch on me.
Yeah. If you can't see anything, let me know.
I cannot.
I got you. Hold up.
It's down the way, I think.
But Zaman would also put on that plate armor.
Oh yeah.
Keep in mind, you cannot at the moment. The plate armor is literally twice your size.
Copy. Good to know.
However, what'd you make with that intelligence check at them or investigation check?
I think I had a 20.
Oh, yeah, open up the door.
With a 20, you would know that you could at least probably either scrap it for parts, or with a little bit of time and effort, you could actually try to make your own set of plate mail armor. Now that you actually have, well, plate mail as the necessary resource to craft it.
Copy. Yeah, he's definitely gonna do the latter.
Sensei, before we go into the next room, Addy turns and says, remember, this is sacred ground. We do not steal from the gods. We only pay tribute.
Zaman will say, well, the sacred god, the sacred gals was in here. The the area to proceed is not technically sacred.
Can you say that again?
The sacred grounds was in the room that we just walked through.
I was pointing to the left when I said that statement.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about outside where we're going to the
No.
chest.
No, no.
Ah, okay. Cool.
All right. Gore begins to sort of fly in, and Zaman, you follow right after. Addy Dark, do you continue on in as well?
Yeah, just having some little funky stuff.
All right. Gore with
I
a
would've-
14,
I
looking
would've
towards
cast
the
guidance
check.
on Gore, but
He's already there.
Well, he's got to stick his little fingers in, so guidance would still help.
With a 14 on the check, it seems to be on the up and up.
Alright. And then he's gonna stick his little fingers in again.
All right.
I'm going to cast guidance on him before he does that, and just try to give him some advice.
Sleight of hand with an advantage. 18. Oh boy.
And
1 second.
And it's D4, right?
All right. Yeah, roll a d4, 21. So, easy enough. As you begin to try to, try to bring out your sword once more, as well as using your hands to try to pick the lock itself, you begin to do so, and the lock falls down onto the ground. Do you open it?
He checks it one more time to be safe.
Sure thing. Making another investigation check. 21. That said, you look over towards it, and you might have missed one thing. There is a string attached to this chest off to the side.
Oh. And he's like, wait, greedy one! Don't get too excited. These orcs are up to tricks. And he points at the rope very slowly to
Zaman will say, you have to be very careful when disarming this. And he would, I guess, help Gore disarm the trap.
Alright, this is an investigation or check with advantage if both of you guys are helping. One of you can make it. And while you're doing
I
that,
guess I'll let Gore make it. I'll also cast guidance on him.
sure thing. So while you're doing that, Addy Dark, as you sort of pass on by, or looking around the area, make a quick perception check for me as you're coming around this sort of cave. Ooh, 21.
Yes.
Thing. All right. With your 25 Gore, you guys, between you and Zaman, you're able to disable that of the trap, and you see as a bit of green, noxious fumes begin to sort of spew out for a brief moment. However, you cut it just in time to prevent it from sort of spewing out into the entire room. Close one, but you're good to go.
Foolish orcs! They can't trick the Oni.
yeah, and then we open it on up.
That said, as you open it on up, you see buried underneath bits of materials as well as even a bit of water stored off to the side. It seems to be that this was at least a little bit of their consumables cache, and you find a decent amount of stuff. You find 2 food resources, 1 water resource, and I'm gonna add all this to your thing. 1 material resource and 1 soul coin. Oh boy, so that is a lot of stuff, my friends. Alright.
And I guess Gore would look at Zaman.
These orcs wouldn't be by this well for no reason. Maybe we should wait after we rest. But Gore thinks that there's more to be done with that.
And he kind of like peers down the hill. Not to go down it, but peers down the hill.
As you
As
do,
Zaman,
you begin to hear little bits of running water, and down below you have dark vision, so you can see as the water sort of running horizontally down there. It's almost like a river.
Zaman will say, you may be right. They were protecting this chest, but they also might have been protecting something else.
And he Gore peers down. And he's like,
If Gore's learned anything from where there's running water, that could be good or bad for us, greedy one. But if this place was good enough for the orcs, I still think we may need to consider setting. We've cleared out the weak ones.
Let the strong ones take this place over. Yeah, that's the suggestion.
I'll turn to him. On watch. There were many birds outside. Very carnivorous. There it is. That's the word. Dang, God damn it. Lost it. We must clear them out if we really want to make this a stronghold.
We should wait to regroup with the rest of the party. But I agree. This may be exactly what we need. We know the entrance. We can guard between any potential enemies.
Then we rest. And we rest well.
Yeah, Goro would start making his way back over.
All right. Well, while you guys are doing all of that, oh wait, were you someone trying to say something?
I think the only thing I just wanted to do some scouting to the outside, but that could happen.
All right. So yeah. So Addy Dark, you got Zaman and Gore, you guys see as Addy Dark. Are you heading outside to scout or just around the cave?
Yeah, just like right at the entrance.
Gotcha. All right.
See if there's just I want to peer out.
All right. So yeah, you can just bring move your character token out there, or like towards the way. That said, Gore and Zaman, you do notice as Addy Dark begins to sort of veer off over there.
Zaman will say, "Go on. Looks like Addy Dark is going to keep watch at the front."
The furry one seems strong enough. I think we'll be fine to rest. Just keep your hands to yourself, really one.
And Gore kind of plop down. First, he would let everybody know that they found more resources.
Well, real quick before any of this happens, Cora, before you guys are back and everything, like when you guys are searching for resources, Cora, Azora, and my god, names are fucking difficult. And Agni, what are you three doing in the meantime while those three are off doing their thing?
Azora's patching up her wounds and everything. She looks over at Cora.
These are weird.
And she would ask Cora, I don't know if you're having the same memory troubles as me and Agni. However, how is your adjustment to your new body? I remember you used to be able to dream. Is that still a thing for you or not?
Cora is taking like the dents out of her body from being tossed into a wall. So that's what she's doing. She's buffering herself up, and then she'll say like along the lines of, she's still adjusting to her new body, or this body, because she doesn't really remember the old one all too well. So it's kind of like this is like her original body per se, because she just lost everything from her old body. So it's still an adjustment, is what she would say.
Understood. Hopefully in time, a warrior such as yourself, I'm sure you'll be able to turn this body into a great weapon.
And then that's pretty much what her goal is. She just gives you like a nod, and she's just, fixing her body, or her body, I guess, would be fixing her body up.
Cora, make a perception check for me. 18? Okay. Oh, goodness.
Cora, I do want to compliment you in that battle. That technique you pulled that angered the orc. It was masterful strategy.
Agreed, Agni. Without that technique, we might not have Gore with us still. I'm sure in his own way he will thank you.
Yes, you succeeded where I failed. It's something that should be commended.
For Cora, she will say like, for some reason, the only thing she remembers is war and fighting, and that's the one of her memories that stayed. And she feels as though that she's had it in her old body, and that's one of the only key things that transferred into into her new body. So she'll be like, it felt right to try to draw his attention for me.
Cora, as you're kind of having this conversation with your perception check, you begin to hear several voices sort of entering into your head at the moment. They seem to be definitely of different natures. Oh boy. Check your DMs.
Oh shit. Oh wow, I don't know how I missed this message previously.
Oh, not that one. God damn it. Talk about the feedback. No. You hear this. Look in here. And I will do that. Alright. One moment. And boom, and boom. Alright, you should have gotten at it, with it. But that is what you hear in your head while you're kind of having this conversation with Agni and Azora.
Am I supposed to see?
Yeah.
Okay.
That said, you see as Cora's a little bit puzzled and just begins to go silent, waiting for a response from, I guess, Agni and Azora. Anything else you guys are saying or doing?
No, for Azura, no, she's just patching herself and just glad that everybody made it out of this. And she doesn't remember much, but she just remembers these people, minus Jade. And she's just kind of glad to be able to remember them for now.
That's it. Alright. At this point, Zaman and Gore, you two eventually arrive back inside of the little area of rest.
Gore is like, these orcs were hiding more. And Gore would throw the supplies down. And Gore's talked to Zaman and Addy. We should check out that water. That well. I think the orcs were guarding it. And
Were you talking to us?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, after the rest, certainly. We should finish exploring the rest of this cave.
And you see Gore kind of like leaned up against the wall, kind of like that. He was thinking about that sleep.
Zaman will come over and sit down, and as he's resting, he's gonna be, since he's just not gonna be moving, he's gonna think about how he can utilize this plate mail to make his own plate mail and maybe even improve others' armors.
Alright. That said, are you trying to craft and everything during your short rest?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So, to basically take that out of the plate mail, you have a total of 2 plate resources. Alright. It's a very, very simple one. Do you have any tools to make stuff to make this DC even easier?
I do not.
No tool proficiencies. You have Smith's
But I
tools.
would. I have Smith's tools on me?
Oh yeah, you don't have them on you.
I
But
have
you are
proficiency in
proficient.
Smith's tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
I would communicate my plan to try to utilize his armor to everyone.
That's it. As you let it be known, you begin to try to go to work and try to change and sort of almost manifest this sort of armor into something usable. That said, I need you to make a survival check for me. And I believe, yeah, you're doing it by yourself, so yeah, straight survival check.
Copy. Would I be able to use guidance for it, or is it just
Yeah, you're
pure
able to use
survival?
guidance.
Okay.
Pretty good. Add a d4. 17, yeah, I'll do it. That said, it takes you a little bit of while, majority of your rest, so you're still able to obviously rest in that time, but as you do, begin to rip pieces apart from it, and you're able to craft and make a little piece of suit of armor that you'll probably be able to use functionally. You now have plate mail armor. Would you like to equip it?
Yes, please.
Alrighty, this is about to be a big upgrade in that AC. Alright. And all of that stuff. Alright, I will add it to your inventory in just a moment. That said, go ahead.
I said okay.
Alright. Is anybody else doing anything during their short rest? At this time, or no? Alright. So, we'll look towards the likes of Addy Dark, but let me get this, item added
You said
to...
we can short rest or just wait?
Yeah, you can short rest or wait. I mean, if you're waiting, you're basically short resting anyways.
Alright.
Alright. We're gonna look towards Addy Dark. Let me just get this, plate armor? Oh, that's why, okay. I was wondering why the heck it wasn't working. Alright, you have plate mail armor in your inventory. You can choose, or you can equip that and unequip your original one. Now. Alright, so, Addy Dark, as you begin to, or look out and just scout outside the cave entrance, you do actually notice as it is no longer raining at this point. And you do see as it is clear skies at the moment. And so, well, it's not completely clear. It is a couple of clouds out, but it's at least the rain has definitely stopped. If I can, let me change this for you.
Any birds?
Any birds? Make a perception check for me. Here, let me try
I'm not a very wise barbarian.
With a 10, you look around and you don't hear any wildlife, but you don't even see any flocks of birds anywhere. No bits of mechanical gears or anything turning. Nowhere around, but you can never be so sure. That's what you get with the 10.
That just guard the gate.
Alright. That said, are you just waiting outside the majority of your sort of watch?
Yeah.
Alright. That said, Addy Dark, you wait out at the lakes of here, and as you do, with your 10 perception check, you do begin to see as, or actually, hold on one moment. Make sure actually you got that right. Hold on. Which mark do you have on your hand? Actually, never mind. Retcon that. You do not see anything. My apologies.
Okay.
Alright. That said, meanwhile, back in the cave. Alright. You guys all rest, and as you do, you begin to gain the benefits of a short rest as it goes by uneventful. Alright, so, to basically hit the short rest button, all you gotta do is just double click on your token, and then, kind of where your character image is, you hit short rest. You can also see as there's a button for like rolling hit dice and all that stuff. Addy Dark, I'll walk you through that process in a minute. Actually, your character's still on this map, so yeah. Double click on your token, hit the short rest button, and if you want, you can use a hit dice. Granted, you have 2, and you might as well kind of use them. It's no reason not to, unless you really, really want to save it for something, maybe another rest down the line. But, yeah.
Did I do that right?
Almost. I gotcha. So if you want to heal up during your short rest, for you, just roll a d12. So a d12, it's kind of like above the plus button at the bottom right of the screen. Yeah, there you go. 2 plus 3, so a total of 5 HP. There you go. Alright, that said, you guys all take your short rest. Alright, eventually 45 or so minutes begin to pass, and it's a new, or A new journey awaits. What would you guys all like to do?
Zaman would say we should finish exploring the cage. This is a potential stronghold for us. Um,
Oh, you can
maybe
roll.
even secure it, and then continue our way up to the top, so we can get a vantage point to understand where we are.
Zora said, wouldn't the better stronghold be a place that is not just defensible, sure this is, but one that has plenty of resources around it?
I don't think the cave makes for a good stronghold when we haven't explored other options just yet.
And she nods to that sentiment.
Even if we don't choose this, we should at least check the water.
Yes, we should finish exploring the cave, and we also need to gather resources before night falls. We're out of food. Some of us require it.
Oh no, we out of food. No, we don't have food. Gore came with all types of stuff.
I thought that was all medicine.
Did we get food in
No,
there?
Let's
there's
see.
food too.
There's
Gore
food.
got food. Yeah.
So
How much food?
right
Two
now,
food,
you
two
guys
food, one
have
water.
you have a total of
that's not
3
much food.
food, 2 water, 5 out of 10 materials, and 4 out of 10 soul coins, and 3 out of 10 medicine. So as a party, because you have 2 warforged, you only need 4 food per day. So right now you just need 1 more piece of food. So you gotta go find and scavenge that. So you'll be good for it.
So, to the well.
All right, you guys begin to march over to the well. Core, are you staying back over there? Nope, never mind. Just phase shifts through the wall. No, you're good. All right, so as you guys all begin to one by one surround the well, it definitely is a little bit, it's a little bit small, but you could probably sort of jump through if you really wanted to. That says those without dark vision, you can't really see how far the jump is, but that said, Gore, from what you can tell, you can at least see the water, so it's at least probably like around 60, 70, maybe 50 feet.
Gore would be like, he would look around and see if anybody had any rope. And be like, oh yeah, you remember. Furry one, give me the rope, I can fly down. You and I are the only one that seem to see in this darkness.
I have a rope.
When you climbed it and flexed on everybody?
Oh, that was a climbing kit.
Yeah.
Azor has rope.
So we could use both in case it's far down.
Was our rope? We know?
The rope goes 50 feet.
The
So
climbing kit?
she'll hand you the rope, she'll have the rope in one hand and then you just hold on the other hand just to see how far can you go with the rope, I guess.
Yeah.
The climbing kit, how long is it?
Say that one more time.
In the climbing kit, I assume that
Oh, someone punched their mic for a second. You cut out one last time. You said in the climbing kit.
the climbing kit, how long is the rope in the climbing kit?
There you go. All right. With the climbing kit, let's go find out. So, looking into your inventory, it says, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself, and you can't climb more than 25 feet away from the point without undoing the anchor. So, pretty much 25 feet.
So in theory, we can anchor it 25 feet and then tie the rope.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, then that is said plan.
I guess my headset was cutting out for some reason. Alright. That said, are you guys hopping down in there with Adidark sort of climbing his way down?
Yeah, I can find footing.
And Gore would kind of, I guess.
Yeah. It's a little
down
rough,
there.
but you can try to do so.
You said what now?
It's a little rough for Adidark to find a little bit of footing. And also just trying to be inside of it, but he's able to do so. Just takes a
Like,
little bit of time.
Gore was trying to fly down there with.
You're trying to just fly straight down into the into the well.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
how far are you going? Like all the way to the water?
Yeah, as far as the rope can take with like his.
Yeah, Zora's holding on one end the 50-foot rope, and then telling
Mhm.
him to go down so we could like kind of get an idea how far down.
Gotcha.
Zaman would help Azora.
All right.
I mean, is Gore that heavy?
No.
Oh, I thought Eddie Rock was going down.
Nah,
I thought he was climbing down. Yeah.
Climbing kit.
Oh, okay.
All right. That said, as you guys are, or between the likes of you, we'll go to Gore and then Addy Dark right after, because Gore, you can just sort of zip all the way down, using your little sprite wings. As you do, you go towards the likes of the water. Are you going inside of it, or? Because what you see around, there isn't, like, once you get to the water, there is nothing around. There's no, like, sort of small cave. It's just sort of flowing off to the side, as if it goes underwater.
He would take note of what direction it's going, and try to put some water in his.
All right. That said, it is going north at the moment, from what you can probably just tell, like north on this map at least. And you're trying to fill up water in the water skin. Yeah, easy enough. Granted, you would have to purify it before it's actually usable. So you're gonna need to either boil it, or if you have purified food and water or anything like that, that spell, then you're good to go. But you can mark down at the very least, you do have water in the little skin thing. That said, is there anything else you're doing down here, or?
He would know. He would try to see if the water looked like anything about the way it's flowing, why it's flowing.
Make an investigation check. Are you just looking at it?
Looking at it, and while holding on to the rope strong, he would kind of like run his hand in it, fighting. Literally, been here before.
All right. Oh boy. That's something. So, Gore, as you begin to stick your hand into the water, it embeds itself in, and then it just stops. And you try to tug. Well, not the water. Your hand just stops moving, and you try to tug and pull, and it doesn't seem to want to come out.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna try to pull out, and Gore's gonna be like, "Damn water's trying to drink." Yeah, he would yell up. I don't know what he, but yeah.
That being said, you guys all hear down below, Gore sort of screaming out that once more. What are you all doing?
Azora, you should pull him up immediately.
Should
so-
probably pull him up.
Yeah, I was gonna say Azora would just yank him up.
And Gore would try to stab the water.
All right. As you do so, I'm assuming you have your one arm stuck into the water, and then the other part is or there's rope attached to your body, correct?
Yep.
All right. As this happens, you feel your arm entirely being almost pulled completely out of your socket as you begin to almost yell out in pain immediately.
Ah!
That said, you just feel it pulling and pulling. At this point, it's almost as if your arm is going to be just straight up ripped off or before you.
Hold! Don't pull anymore! This water's drinking Gore! And Gore would try to stab the water.
All right, as you stab the water, seems to be now you have a second arm stuck in there.
Oh, Jesus.
Doesn't seem to budge.
What I'm not gonna be doing, folks. I'll tell you what I won't.
That said, at this point, you see as... That being said, you do see as Addy Dark, or I assume you're like descending, but like you haven't like dropped into the water, correct? All right.
No. I'm just descending 25 feet above the water. Just when I
25
see
feet.
that.
Yeah, so you look down and you see the likes of Gore just stabbing the water, and then he just sort of stops. He's just sort of like shaking, trying to pull himself out.
Well, fortunate, sir. So both hands are in the water?
Yeah.
Yeah, both of his hands are in the water. I'm assuming you're still carrying the sword in the hand. You haven't let go, right?
That's you.
That's to Gore. That's to Gore.
Yeah, Gore's not going.
Okay. I said, what are you two doing?
Is it I guess is it like quicksand sinking him away, or is he just like stuck like?
No, it's not like quicksand or anything. Like the water's sort of rushing past him, but like as he's trying to just sort of move inside of it, it doesn't seem to sort of budge. It's not letting him. He's like almost stuck as if he's in cement at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna yell up to the. Have you seen this before?
Zora said, we can't see nothing.
I have no idea what you're talking about. Agni, do you mind throwing a torch down there? Maybe we can see a little better.
And Gore will yell out, "This water doesn't seem to be trying to drink Gore, but it won't let Gore go."
You want me to throw a flammable object down there to potentially hit?
I mean, we don't know what's going on. It might be better than us just being blind. If we understand the situation, maybe we can help more. Pulling is not effective.
Is there any other way to make a light source besides fire?
I'll yell up. Can I hear what you guys are saying or not? Are you guys yelling?
Yeah, we're definitely yelling.
Definitely.
I'm definitely not yelling. Why would I be yelling right now?
I mean, you're a little bit far away, so I would have been yelling.
Hey Gore, make an insight check with disadvantage. 15. So, as you begin to feel the sort of water sort of flowing about, you begin to recall a little bit of a sort of strange but familiar feeling. The water around you, it does seem to almost have like a kind of energy about it. Not physical. Well, I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of physical with the sort of rushing nature of it, but not magical, not divine, but more of spiritual. The way you're able to sort of realize this with your sort of previous monk training begins to come back to you, but at least the energy down below here, it feels a little bit more spiritual rather than any of the others.
Gore, I guess, would find this be like,
Tell them to let the rope.
Did he say let the rope go?
Hearing Gore yell that, Zora lets the rope go.
Alright, the rope
Gore,
drops. What do you
What
do?
are you doing? Have faith, furry one. You'll learn.
Gore. The water take him.
You let the water take him? You see as Gore immediately flows underneath the water.
I guess we need to figure out where this well goes. Maybe Gore's on the other side.
He is gone.
So for us, like, we didn't see none of that, right? We just,
Addy Dark just saw us and said,
say, let the rope go, that's it.
yep, and Addy Dark saw him and said, trusted me, and he just flows down underwater.
Well, I will be climbing out of the well.
Alright, you guys see as Addy Dark begins to walk or climb out of the well. Gore is nowhere in sight.
So what happened to Gore? Why did he ask us to let go of the rope?
He sensed good nature in the water, I believe. He seemed at peace.
But like peace with his demise, or like he thinks he's gonna be safe?
Seems safe. Have
He
you
has,
seen water come to life like this?
he
I don't
has,
recall.
he has been acting strange lately.
Maybe he must have felt this was his only option. Well, do you have any idea which way the water is going? Maybe we could try to find where he ends up, if he ends up anywhere.
Water's flowing north.
Anybody with amnesia? So that would actually be Addy Dark, Korra, and Azura. make a history check. Actually, you choose them on. Make a history check. DC's very high. 19, 5, 8, and 19. Final rolls.
I'll give myself 1 inspiration point and make mine a 20.
Alright. Zamon's with a 20. Azor, what about you?
Oh no, she's trash at memory.
Alright. So, that said, Zaman, you... Oh, wait. That's right. With the, one thing. Zaman, so as you begin to sort of recall and whatnot, you almost begin to have sort of memories begin to sort of pour into the likes of your brain. As everything begins to become a little bit more clear. I'm to recall water. What does this have to do with anything? And you remember something strange with the water in Jaded Dragon Valley in general. Besides the likes of the Forbidden Expanse, where you saw that water was more of almost hostile or scared in nature, Jaded Dragon Valleys was more different. In fact, you remember long ago, just even with you being in your sort of clan and whatnot, most people, whenever they were just sort of sailing throughout the valley, using boats or anything like that, they didn't use paddles. They didn't use really devices or anything like that at all. In fact, it was typically just one person sort of sitting at the sort of head of it, almost just cross-legged, seeming kind of like at peace. You're not entirely sure why it begins to sort of come towards you, but like just sort of Addydark even just mentioning it, it does seem to ring at least a little bit of familiarity to it. Kind of hard to tell why, but still. That's all you get with a 20, though.
Copy. Zaman would say, this water, it's very different than the water in the Forbidden Expanse. That is not hostile, but I do think it has a mind of its own. The way that boats and such work out here, and people in the water in general, they seem not to use any action or anything else. The water seems to flow with what the people wanted, as if it has a conscience or connects its conscience to the person.
So you're saying the water anyway spoke to God and he trusted it, and through his emotions he is currently flowing with the water to where he wants to be?
I believe so. I don't believe the water is harming God, but it's probably taking him somewhere that he either wants to be or needs to be.
Water is known for a semblance of balance. Perhaps he was right to let go and be taken. And she begins to look around like almost as if she remembers something, but she can't quite.
That said, the gore's still gone. What are you all doing?
Addy Doc, you said the water is going north. We should.
I'll be honest. Which direction we come from?
You actually don't know because no one looked.
Geography's not my strong point. The only other way around is to climb. We barely made it up 70 feet. You want to continue the climb and then climb down?
I think that's the only option we have, unless we just leave Gore to find us.
It seems we could just follow.
Like join him in the water.
The water feels as though at peace.
Zaman would look at you and he says, that's not a bad idea, but we still don't fully know where this water leads. And it seems to be a bit rash to jump in without a plan.
Spend 1260. Yep.
I was giving some time to us who would like to comment.
So, need a decision. You guys going down, or are you guys heading out the cave?
Azora, because she can't see anything, she don't think that. She'll say, well, the only person who can see anything down there is you, Addy Dog. The rest of us, we are truly blind if we go down this well. It would be a unstrategic choice to make.
I agree.
It is bad enough we dealt with here with these orcs. This could lead to further danger. One that now we are no longer in control if we can't even get out of the water, let alone see.
You truly would abandon Gore?
It's not abandonment. If you heard me before, we're going to try to find him, to find out where he ends up. And plus, he willingly left with the water.
Hearing you ask if we're gonna abandon Gore, Azora begins to remember something. A term, 9 letters long. A certain cowabunga.
Oh my god.
And she says, "You're right, Taddy Dog. Gore went and abandoned us, so." And she looks at the rest of the team. She says, "Against my better judgment, it's probably best that we at least stick together. We don't know these lands, and we don't know where the water flows from. He could be somewhere we've already came across, or somewhere vastly different. Either way, we've already lost Jade. If we go in now, perhaps we could catch up to him."
Zaman will say, if we do this, remember, don't fight against the water. Let it take you to where it takes you.
Hearing that, Azora looks at everybody, nods, and she just thinks about. Oh, go ahead.
I'll let you guys know I'm not jumping down in some water. If you guys recall, there was a waterfall close to where we first woke up. That's probably the area where he might be located at.
And Azora said it could be, or it could be connected to a vastly different waterfall. That is one thing we don't know, but judging by how someone said the water flows in one direction, eventually this will get us to go. The other locations we've been across, he could wash up there or somewhere vastly different. Because we don't know these lands, that is quite a gamble.
Didn't Zaman mentions the water takes you where you want to go?
I will think about Gore when I jump.
Agreed. Keep Gore on the mine, and the water will guide us.
I wish you all the best of luck.
Hearing that, she nods and then she jumps in.
All right.
Zaman would say, well, Agni, I'm not gonna lift you out here by yourself. Maybe me and Cora should stay with you. We'll go to the waterfall. Go ahead.
I need to establish something. Do you just straight up plummet down 50 feet into the water?
This is. I thought this was That okay, so she'll climb down.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll climb down.
Oh God, my legs!
She'll climb down.
The water will.
I was
Water's not
very-
cushioning.
I was feeling very gung ho. My fault.
That is a false myth made by video games. If you jump in water, you will break your legs if you jump from a height.
Yeah, kind of hurts.
Yeah, definitely will.
Yeah.
In concrete.
Yeah. As Azora, you eventually climb down, and then once you get to a suitable position, you drop down into the water, and you just let it take you.
She thinks of Gore as she drops in.
As you're doing-
One quick question.
Go for it.
Is there any way for me to like, what would make Agni jump in well? Wastively talk to him.
Make an insight check towards Agni. Also, I don't know why I deleted the token for you, so you can at least see stuff about.
You said insight check towards Agni.
Yeah, insight check towards Agni.
Okay, and then I guess before I do that, Cora, what are you doing?
I don't see anyone's token.
Oh, I gotcha. Control C. Do
Oh.
you see yourself?
No, but I see everyone but me.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay,
You should
now
be
I
fixed.
see me.
There you go.
Cora's going wherever Agni's going.
I guess. All right, let me do an insight check.
Alrighty.
I don't understand.
Agni, this will be up to you on what he's able to learn with an insight check. Cool. We always gotta take the first one, so that is a 4. What does he get with a 4, Agni?
You know
Not a
Agni hates.
damn
You
thing.
know Agni hates water. That's what you learn with a 4.
There you go.
Like a deathly hate, or
Yeah, all you know is he hates water.
okay. With that, I look at Agni and I give him my climbing kit. Go over the mountain. Up. We'll see you on the other side.
My people are adept at survival. I'm sure we will.
Yeah, and I don't know how to give him the climbing kit.
Alright, I got it. You just say, hey, give him the climbing kit, and I'll handle the rest. Alright. So, that said, as you begin to hand it towards him, Agni, I assume you, or grab it, and... Alright, so, Cora, you said you were going wherever Agni goes. Addy Dark and Zaman, what is your decision?
Yeah, Zaman is staying with Agni. He figures splitting the party in 3 is better than leaving 2 or even 1 person by themselves.
Yeah, I mean, I was down. Just make sure they had the climbing kit. So
Alright. That said, if you're just sort of climbing on the way down, you being a barbarian and Zor being a fighter, it's easy enough for you guys to climb all the way down, and then when you get to a suitable point, drop down. You hit the water. What do you do, Addy Dark?
may the light lead my way.
Alright.
Find gold.
As you do, you begin to slowly submerge into the water, and you are taken by it. That said, there's only 3. Cora, Agni, and Zaman. What are you 3 doing?
We should try to meet them where you think the waterfall will end up. If it's not there, then it gotta be the other one.
I don't always say this, but we should make haste. Let's get out of here and figure out whether we go down back to the waterfall or up for a better vantage point.
Agreed.
Cora nods.
Alright, you guys can move your tokens where you wish. Alright. That said, are you guys just heading outside the cave?
Yep.
Alright,
Yes.
I gotcha. So, eventually, as you guys begin to gather, you head out out of the cave and into the sort of mountain range off to the side. And eventually, you find
Oh,
yourselves.
hey!
Hmm?
There they are.
Hmm?
I see Gore and Azura on my screen.
Oh, they're not there. They're hidden.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. That was easy.
They are not there. Here, I guess I'll copy and repaste it. Oop. I don't know if that changed anything, but
I never saw them on my screen.
This
Yeah,
man's
they're
got the
gone now.
god hex or something. I don't know what happened.
What's the weather like outside?
So it is pretty much it's for the most part clear skies. There's a couple of clouds out and about. That said, Agni, make a perception check for me.
Oh, struggling to find it. 17.
17. So you see with the weather, it's though it's clear skies and there's a couple clouds, you see as there is just two massive clouds and they're sort of split or almost splitting in half at the moment. It's kind of a strange sight, but other than that, blue and sunny.
Do we see any birds or anything like that? Any flying
Perce-
creatures?
Perception check, Cora.
Perception.
8.
Oh, goddamn 8. I
From
don't
what
see
you can
a
tell,
damn.
none to be seen here.
Like you said, we should make haste.
Alright, so you have two options. Are you climbing upwards to what you could assume to be the top of the waterfall, or are you climbing downwards?
Alex, how far up did we climb to get here?
It took you about it took you at least 2 hours to get up to here. At least 2 to 3 hours of climbing. And just trekking and whatnot from where you originally started.
My vote is to go up. I mean, if anything, we should be able to see a lot more and have a bigger vantage point than going back down.
That is fair.
And Core nods.
Alright. Well, if you're going up, get to climbing, my friends. And if you are doing so, I need you guys to both make athletics checks. Agni, because you have the climber's kit, you don't need to.
I'm gonna use my thorn whip again.
Alright. Give yourself advantage, Cora, and then you just make a straight athletics check. 24.
Is there? I was gonna say, is there a way? Because I assume I go up there first. Is there any way to the climber's kit, does it have rope? Like, is there any way to toss rope to help? Back down?
Yeah,
After,
I believe so. Hold on, let me make sure. You gotta anchor it, so you'd probably have to sort of swing it forward, aim it upwards, and try to anchor it that way. And then if you want to climb, with that, that's something you could also do. As an action to anchor yourself, you can't fall more than 25 feet where you anchored yourself. So I'm assuming what this kind of means, I could be wrong, but essentially you're throwing an anchor, latches on, and then you basically tie the rope to yourself, and then you just climb up the rope. I think that's what it's referring to. Could be wrong though.
Yeah, we're like the ice climbers right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it comes with a harness. Yeah, you put the harness on and all that stuff, and boom. I said, all right. Agni, you're able to climb up easy enough. Zaman, with a 24, you were able to do so. Cora with a 7, you do see as she's struggling for a little bit. Definitely lags behind, so that's gonna add a little bit of time, but eventually, between the, go ahead.
Do I give her advantage by doing this or no?
You can just sort of toss her down the, ropes or the climber's tools if you want.
Yeah,
Like
sure,
the harness and everything. That said, yeah. Between the three of you, you guys are able to eventually climb up to the likes of the mountains, and you begin to climb further and further up up this trek. Oh boy! And as you do, give me one moment, please.
We'll learn why you don't split the party.
Yep, always. Never split a party, man. But
well,
let's get those initially.
Let's see. All right, everybody, make a perception check real quick.
oh, we could 3-man a boss.
Where's my token?
Wait, just them or
those three?
everybody?
My bad, those three. As soon as I thought, as soon as I said it.
3-man a boss.
All right, 24, a 9, and a 10. With a 10 and a 9, you see, kind of as you're, well, no, not really. You see off in the distance there are sort of more floating islands, but as well as this, if I haven't mentioned this before, you guys do see far, far off in the distance a massive sort of tree. You see as it begins, or as it pierces the likes of the clouds, no sort of branches in sight with how tall it is. But again, that's who knows how far away. Besides that, with a 10 core, you can see a couple or more floating islands not too far from here. And with a 24 Zaman, you see all of that, but occasionally you do see as one off in the distance begins to actually explode and begins to slowly almost crash to the likes of the ground. A similar sight that you saw in the Forbidden Expanse.
Zaman was like, did anyone see that?
Granted, this one is like hundreds of miles out. Well, not like hundreds, but like probably like 100 miles out, maybe 80.
One of those floating islands just exploded over there.
No, we should keep focused on climbing.
We should, but we should be aware because one of those explode near us. It could be very, very dangerous.
If one of those exploded near us, there was nothing we could do about it, most likely.
Alright. Regardless, you all three begin to climb and climb, and as you do, oh goodness. You guys get the last leg of the way there and eventually come to the top of this mountain and the waterfall. As you do, you gaze out towards probably one of the most beautiful valleys you have ever seen. Oh goodness, let's change to this.
Ooh, cinematic? Cutscene? Cutscene? Cutscene, anyone? Cutscene? Cinematic?
So, as you or look out towards it, you see or find a waterfall sort of rushing forward and off the cliffside. Trees, flowers of different colors, autumn leaves sort of falling. At this point, almost all of them have fallen. But up above you, you see, and kind of following the river, you see as a massive lake up ahead. And above it, two massive floating islands surrounded in mist. You see as it leads through a forest to get there. Far kind of by itself, you also see as I mentioned before, a massive tree of towering size and proportion spanning past the clouds. But at this point, getting a better sight of it, it doesn't seem to be connected to the land as it appears on its own floating island. Past that, you see below beaches that require a descent, as well as overhead a massive jungle as you see the treetops. Far off to the side, Zaman, especially with your perception check from earlier, you see as 3 individuals reside in the water, kind of at peace. And you all, well, you get to see this map, also commissioned by Reverend Panda.
Oh.
Oh, goodness. That being said, Azora, Adidark, and Gore, you 3 sort of residing in the water and whatnot. Gore, you being the first one here, so if you've ever wanted to sort of leave, you may have done so. But eventually, Azora coming second, and then Adidark third, eventually finding themselves in their way towards you. We'll pick up to you 3 first. What do you say and what do you do?
Gore gets up to the edge and the water didn't drink Gore today. And I don't know, whenever he notices Adidark coming up, he'd be like, "Furry one, you had faith. I knew Phoenix would like the way." Yeah, and he would just sort of like take a look.
That being said, you see multiple things, though there are a couple of there are a couple of things that kind of take away from that of the site, despite the kind of naturalness of it. Things to note, you see a broken bridge that is connected to two sides. Well, that's looks to have been almost connected to, well, two sides of the waterfall, as well as a rundown and destroyed building not too far from it. But you three in particular, you look over past kind of the floating islands off to the side, and above this massive lake not too far from here up towards the north, almost simultaneously, all six of you begin to see a volcanic mountain. However, not of red nature, not of red or orange or anything like that, but blue with rushing water flowing down it. Before you begin to hear and feel a bit of rumbling off to the side. The entire area around you begins to sort of shake, and you begin to almost question what's going on for a brief moment before you just hear once more, this thing. Eventually, as the sort of roar and screams begin to stop, eventually the area sort of remains calm for a brief moment. Sort of almost takes you out of this sort of trance that you almost put yourselves in. That said, Zora, Dark, and Gore, what are you throwing up to the side, and then we'll go to the others in a moment.
Gore would kind of put a hand out to anybody that could come up out the water. If it would work.
That being said, if Dark reaches out, he would be able to.
Alright, reach your hand out.
Alright. You're able to place yourself onto the likes of the on the likes of the little platform. Zora eventually begins to sort of arrive outwards, and I assume you help her as well, correct?
Yep.
Alright. Zora, you also reside outwards. Boop. There you go.
Quick one. You had faith too. Ah.
She seeing across the ridge there. She's curious. How far out is this?
How far is this?
Yeah.
Well, let's measure it real quick. It is about 50 feet from your position, 50 to 60.
50 to 60. Okay. She would look out, and I mean, we don't see the rest of the team, so she would say,
No, not yet.
Yeah, she would suggest that looking to see their best bet. She'll say, Go, perhaps you could tie the rope to one of those branches, and me and Doc can swim to it.
Certainly, quick one. Don't think of the water anymore. Go would do just that.
Alright, you fly on over and you're grabbing. Wait, what are you doing? Are you grabbing a little. Are you grabbing a rope or.
Trees so they can kind of like.
Yeah, I guess one that's not out the water, one of these or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. Gotcha. So you tie it alongside there, and as you do, or you have a rope. Like a little bit of a rope bridge.
Yeah, but seeing how the water took us last time, I guess she would see if he puts like hypothetically a branch in the water, like is it stuck like last time?
Well, depends. Do you try that, Gore?
Gore would try it and he would drop it so he didn't get.
Or a blood hunter. Gore, make a make a wisdom saving throw or a charisma saving throw.
Jesus Christ.
Your choice.
Damn. It's a tough choice.
Yeah, that shit ain't going nowhere. With a 4, you see as the branch, or you stick the branch inside of the water, and stops right in its tracks.
Then so she's gonna say, well, perhaps if we think about going to the other side, the water will carry us that way. Is that how you said it works?
Faith work before, quick one.
She'll yeah. So she'll say, well, perhaps that is the best way to get across. Then.
All right. That said, do you guys jump into the water?
Her seeing no other options. I mean, either way, we're gonna have to go in some water.
Oh man.
She would. So wait, is the stick stuck or just Gore or both?
Yeah, just the stick is stuck. You can just sort of drop the stick if you wanted to.
Okay. So yeah, she would suggest you just bring the rope back.
Okay.
All right. That said, you eventually return, and eventually you guys see, well, Zaman, Korra, and Agni. You eventually arrive and look over, and you can see Azora, Addydark, and Gore not too far from here.
Guess going up was the right approach. What are they doing?
Height always has its advantage. It looks like they're splashing in the water.
We should go and call to them to let them know that we're here. And is that a shelter over there?
Are you asking us or are you asking the DM?
I was asking you.
Wow. Looks to be an abandoned building. Of course, also seems to be completely out of our reach with that bridge destroyed.
Yeah, maybe once we regroup, our next thing is see if we can make it over to here to see if there's any supplies and maybe a place that we can build a shelter.
I'm sure Gore can scout over there if necessary, but let's move and get their attention before they leave.
Zaman will start moving and he'll scream, "Ga, Azara, Addy!" Hopefully they can hear him.
Are you aware? From 100 feet? Water rushing from the sides?
Hearing the noise, Azora would look that way, and I'm sure it's open enough for us to see, a turtle and 2 Warforged.
You can probably see them, and all that stuff. Probably can't hear them at the moment screaming that far. It's more of like covered up by, again, like what V was saying with the sounds of the rushing water and everything.
So yeah, Zora try to come to the edge, and she'll just yell as much as she can, because I mean, she'll try to make the motion of like come this way.
It's funny. I'll make the motion come this way.
Exactly. The mod is making the motion to come up.
So it's just like you guys are freaking motion over, like, come on.
Well, see, I mean, I guess seeing the bridge, although broken over there, she probably would say, all right, it's probably best that they try to take that way. Can she jump across this?
Yeah, you can try. Make an athletics check.
With a little run and jump.
Yeah.
Do I get advantage because she's athlete feet?
Yeah, I'll say so.
What's that? I keep roll 20s. Mess me. Is that alt control? Definitely. Oh, thank you.
$24. With that, yeah, once or a little bit of a leap, and as you do, you land forth. But you look over to the left, oculi sight coming in or into play, and you see the likes of a broken sort of weapon, a crate, as well as a corpse mutilated off to the side.
can she do an investigation check to kind of see what can she find over here?
Sure thing. Investigation for me.
Yeah.
15, that's the DC. So you look over and you see, again, this sort of mutilated corpse, but there are several holes and sort of stab wounds on the body. Slashes, from what you can tell. With your 15, make a nature check on top of that, Azora.
Yeah.
12? Yeah, it'll be enough. The wounds themselves, they don't look to be made of kind of like a weapon. The size of them, very, very strange, almost the size of like a beak. And multiples of them, or multiples of the same sort of size stabbed through this individual. Dozens, if not, oh, just hundreds.
Oh.
The other thing that you do see, and granted, it doesn't look, it's not an actual skeleton like it looks like on the map and all that, but you do know that, at least, that this is an individual of Ishtar, or Ishtar sort of nature. The way they're sort of dressed and their apparel is definitely Ishtar aesthetic.
Go ahead.
There's a little bit of good news though. Inside the crate, yeah, you beat both DCs. You do find a stock of medicine.
Okay, medicine stock.
Yeah, I added. I'm gonna add it for you.
All right, appreciate it.
All right.
She look down at the corpse and just in her head just says a couple things, like, you know, kind of pay respects. Not you know, clearly this thing went out in a gruesome manner. Can she tell if it was like what type of creature it was? Like, was it big or small? Like,
so either it was, well, from just the stab wounds, it was probably small, and it did it a lot. So either it was one that just really got to work, or maybe it was multiple.
yeah. She'll relay that information over to Gore as he's the closest, and says, "Careful, this seems to be creatures about, and they do not seem to be the type to play around. This one here was mutilated. It seems by beaks, dozens if not more."
No rest for us for real then. More area to clear. Let me see if there's something over there that can help you cross.
Gore wants to zip over it to this and there was.
Alright. You dash on over there, flying about, and as you do, make a investigation check or survival check for me. Your choice.
And I was going to just climb rocks. Possible.
Yeah, you're just trying to climb them. Yeah. Make an athletics check and you're good.
Did this man.
Oh, I did disadvantage. The first one's higher, so 16 plus 2, 18. Alright, here's what you learned, Gore. Off to the side, you look over and you find a bit of materials, things that are useful, but you also see as there is a sort of destroyed, almost sort of cart, if you will. Inside, besides a couple of general useful things, you get one material stock, but you do find 2 grayish coins with a similar sort of icon to what the smaller individuals with these sort of spheres with the 2 fins. They seem to be almost implanted on the design of these coins as you gain 2 soul coins. For some reason that is... Oh, there it is. Alright, so 1, 2, and then 3. The last thing that you do see with your 16th, or so 18 in investigate or survival check, it looks to be this entire cart has, well, slash marks. Make a nature check for me.
Oh.
5. Not entirely sure the nature of them, but definitely at least slash marks that was the reason for why this cart's broken down.
Copy. And then that's all I can see from there. There's nothing that can really help besides that. But
Well, that said, while you're investigating all that stuff, Zaman and Korra, you eventually arrive to the likes of Azora as you gotten a little bit closer and whatnot. A little bit of travel.
I
What are you doing?
toss down the thorn whip to help her come up. I said, Zara,
Easy enough.
here you go.
Alright. You're able to climb up as this sort of whip. It seems to be more of a kind of metal sort of thing, a kind of chain that wraps around your arm and begins to sort of pull you upwards. That said, you join the likes of Zaman and Korra.
She'll nod and say, appreciate the assistance.
No problem. Do you know what Gore and Addie are doing?
She points over there. She just points to, wherever she saw Gore fly off. I don't know why I don't see him on screen. Oh, he's way over here now.
Yeah, it's just very tiny.
Okay, yeah. She points over.
Environment.
She points over to where Gore is now, and she'll say, "Addy Doc started climbing up the mountain there. Perhaps he's going to cross over the shorter distance."
Makes sense. Yeah, I think there seems to be some type of shed over there. I think we should probably try to make it over there, but since Gore's over there, he could probably investigate and see if we actually need to go.
That's it. Agni, what are you doing off to the side over here?
Agni's gonna kind of wander off, and because we were over here, he was curious about this statue. But he's really curious as well as about like the mark on his hand. It's been quiet. So he wants to like do some, if there's any type of check he can do about the mark on his hand. But he's also coming over here to use that as an excuse.
I see. Alright, for the mark upon your hand, not really knowing the nature of it, just roll a d20.
Nice.
Two. This is definitely a strange sort of thing. You're not entirely, you kind of sort of wonder of like why it was sort of placed upon you. What it can kind of do, what it's capable of, and just kind of trying to puzzle and figure out why. That said, it doesn't seem to sort of, don't really have any leads too much on it. Looking over at the statue though, as you're close to it, it seems to be a statue of an individual, kind of an animal. Though it's broken and shattered into pieces. Make an investigation check for me, Agni. 12. Probably put it, it's enough pieces in here. If you wanted to, you could put it back together. It'd take a bit of time, but that's up to you. See what it resembles, but eh.
Would I be able to tell like the material it's made out of?
The material, it seems
Like
to be
stone.
Yeah, it seems to just be made completely out of stone. Nothing special, no metals or anything.
Okay. No, he doesn't want to take the time and put it back together.
Alright. That's it.
No shrine of the silver monkey for me.
Alright, that said, you do look behind you and you do see Korra. And Korra behind you as well as Zaman and Zora off to the side towards the bridge. Anything you doing?
No, I mean, Agni would just wave to Korra. He would sort of mention, seems to be an idol of some sort of animal, maybe worshipped at one point, destroyed now. And he would just continue heading back to the group.
Alright. Said, no one's doing anything over here. Addy Dark. Alright, so you all at the moment, you begin to sort of climb up the likes of this sort of mountain and continuing through this little through the likes of these trees. You see, going over to this direction, this seems to be leading to the floating islands and the giant sort of lake, or at least this is the direction of it.
Do I see like a narrowing of the river?
A narrowing of the river. Make a perception check. With a 10, it does get a little bit smaller. It does narrow a little bit, but from what you can tell, it seems to be this is going to be going on for a long while. From general sort of narrowing, you'll probably have better luck with the one behind you, as it leads off to somewhere else.
Okay. Oh, I thought we like spewed out of it.
Say that one more time.
I thought we like spewed out of it.
So from where you guys came out of, you guys literally came almost out of the, not necessarily like the waterfall, but you came from underneath this sort of water from here.
That's it. Down. Try to hop.
Alright. I said, trying to hop over this, make an athletics check and you're good. 21, easy enough. You're able to get a running start. Using your barbarian talents, you're able to jump and cross this, no problem. Alright.
I'll continue to truck my way.
Alright. Are you just joining?
I'm sorry, can I also do a perception?
Yeah, make a perception check. Ooh. Natural one, a lot of trees, a lot of them are, or a lot of the leaves are sort of falling off at the moment. At least what you do know of the nat one, weather and temperature wise, it is getting a little bit colder than usual. Either autumn is coming close to an end, or beginning of winter is here.
Gotcha. I'll continue to trek down.
Alright, you can move your token, do all of that. While you're doing all of that, Gore, what are you doing off to the side over here?
He's a good old-fashioned AF.
Oh, never mind. You're good.
So Gore first would go over here, and I guess he would see this right here, and I guess his instinct would be to see if the.
So looking at this area, you see like a bit of a campsite and also bits of destroyed crates and whatnot. But the camp, like where the rocks and the sort of what you probably assume a little campfire was, it doesn't seem to be put out like too long ago at all. Recent for sure.
Copy. And then he would take eyes.
All right. Survival check or investigation if you're just scanning the area for it or for anything useful. 20. That said, you got, or between over here, you get the likes of 2 food and 1 material stock.
All right, good. And then, so I think Gore's seeing all that. I guess there's nothing else you can see around.
Okay. From that said, not really. This is just the area, one area that you sort of saw. From kind of the area that you are at, yeah, you can just kind of fly up and see it anyways. As I mentioned before, there seems to be a forest or a leading forest down here, not too far.
Okay.
But also kind of going past the waterfall and kind of descending down below, you see the likes of an overhead kind of jungle not too far from here as well. Kind of in the same direction of the forest.
So in this direction?
Well, more so the jungle is kind of like off to the side in this little corner here, but you could probably, from what you can tell, get to the jungle by going the same direction.
Copy. I think lastly, Gore would.
Alright. That said, well, we'll get back to you, and then while you're doing all that, meanwhile, everybody else over here, What are you five doing?
Zaman would say, I might be able to make a bridge for us to cross. Am I able to use entangle and see if I can like sprout a bridge to connect or to get us further across?
Entangle. Entangle's not big enough. To be able to make a bridge to get across, I think it's too big of a gap to be able to kind of make one that way. A good idea.
Azor would say, well, when I jumped in the water and I thought about Goa, it did bring me to Goa. Perhaps if we jump in and we think about getting to that building over there, it will bring us to the ridge over here.
Zaman would say that is not an option for Acne. So either way, we would need to think of a alternative route or alternative way to bridge the gap.
The river doesn't narrow, but it seems one of the side streams leads further venturing. We must keep moving. The birds, the open, will be destroyed. The cave gave us a place to. These birds, there's too many of them.
This is true, but how else will get across the water if we can't build a bridge? Well, get Agni across that is.
We follow the side stream.
Well, keep in mind, I want to make sure for clarification. So the side stream that I was referring to, this leads off in, or this is the thing I was talking about. This leads into an entirely kind of different direction.
Or for now, we just say forget that place, as there does not seem to be a way to get over there safely for Agni.
I'm telling you, the river goes on without even narrowing. We have no options to cross this river. We must keep moving.
Yeah, she's sort of starting to agree.
So we should head to the top and continue to follow the river upwards.
It doesn't seem to be much for us here at the moment. Perhaps later we can return and repair the bridge, see what's over there.
Am I able to see Goa?
Make a perception check. And he's looking for his smallest sort of sprite, red in nature. You're able to sort of see him flying about, and he seems at this point just getting ready to go inside of the sort of ruined building.
Zaman would say, Goa, join back up with us. We're planning on hitting elsewhere.
Go yell across. I'll check here first, greedy one. Someone else was here, and not too long ago.
Alright. That said, Gore, as you begin to head inside of this building, you look around and it definitely seems that this thing in particular was long abandoned. It seems to have even a couple of sort of burn marks sort of scattered about, bits of tables broken, other sort of drawers and cabinets sort of tossed about. The roof itself obviously sort of almost exploded, but that said, make an investigation check or survival. There's your scavenging. 13, ooh, just barely. You find the likes of probably 3 stocks of useful materials, and you find a bit of food, but it's definitely long spoiled. And so, that said, you have 2 spoiled food. If you have any way to purify it, then you can maybe turn that into a normal stock. If not, it will remain spoiled.
And I guess Gore would be like, how far is it? From to or on the bridge.
How far is it from, wait, how far is what?
Point to point on the bridge.
Oh, you guys can use the, if you ever want to know, like, how far things are, you can, if you click the top left with the little, I guess, player icon, there is, like, a little ruler-looking tool. Yeah, there you go. to be able to measure and all that stuff. So about 45 feet. Actually 50. Closer to that, I think.
Are there any trees that are like that tall?
Oh, well, Gore yell.
That's what I'm
Well, he wouldn't yell. He could just go there.
Just
We
flying
can
over.
try to cast the rope across the bridge. If we can get perhaps, if we can get a couple of us over here, there was cross. Then even the big one should be able to get over here. I see a jungle ahead.
It is probably not in Agni's best interest to walk across a tree trunk. I agree with Addy Dog here. Perhaps we keep moving along the river north.
Yeah, I think we come back and try to figure out how to cross this bridge another day to go off.
Hey, Zaman. You just
Yep.
kind of hear a sort of... almost sort of like a little bit of a laughing off to the side, but it kind of it seems to be something sort of playing in your head as you hear a voice.
I say, well, did anyone hear that?
It feels as if it's almost coming behind you at the moment.
The mom would turn around and start backing up and say, did anyone hear that?
No.
Look around, and the only thing you see behind you is the edge of the waterfall, a couple of trees, the bridge, and I guess the statue.
I swear I heard something laughing. Someone laughing.
I've been hearing voices for a while. Seems to be normal. Ignore them. That's what I do.
Zoro wants to second wind.
Easy enough. As you do, or you can press the button just in case as you begin to hone in on your focus. Begin to ready yourself just in case. Big 9 health.
And can she do a perception check for hearing, not sight?
Yeah, you can, yeah, for hearing, yeah, make a perception check for me.
Yep.
Trying to check something. 8? Nothing.
She's like, nope. Let's get moving.
Zaman is definitely walking backwards and saying that's very strange.
That said, as you begin to do so,
We must.
Keep normal.
you just kind of hear whispers and whispers, and as you begin to sort of walk away, kind of from this area, you eventually hear as they begin to get quieter and quieter and quieter the further you go.
Zaman says, that was very strange. It seems as we're leaving, the voices are going away.
But
It's weird.
that said, Cora, make a perception check for me. 20.
Ooh.
As you're sort of climbing this area and you're looking out. Also, I guess I should let you guys know. So, well, I'll mention it afterwards. But as you kind of are looking towards everything, you can begin to look towards the giant, massive floating islands kind of north of you at the moment. Or just sort of residing over the likes of the lake. And for some reason, you just can't put your sort of finger on it, but they seem familiar. Why do they seem familiar to you? It's almost a bit of a sense of recognition begins to sort of wash over you, but you're unsure why. Now, granted, you've seen several bits of floating islands just in your sort of journey around here, but those two in particular, I don't know, something's off about it, but...
While we're walking, Agni is going to approach Addy Dark and give him back the climbing kit. He's going to tell him, Addy Dark, I believe this is yours. It was very helpful in traversing the mountain. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Sense the fear of water. This is no place for that. Must make tough.
Fear? No. Something else.
Alright. That said, you guys continue on passing through the likes of the trees, and eventually you arrive back to the river. That kind of seems to be flowing downwards. Are you following up the river, or are you going past it?
Following up, I thought.
Following up this one, or are you going past it to the main one?
Well, Agni, you wouldn't even cross this would you?
How deep is it?
From what you can tell, not too far deep. Probably 6 to 10 feet. And granted, you know your capabilities. You know that there's a decent chance you could probably cross over by just jumping.
Is this a bridge?
No, that is a waterfall, like a little miniature one.
Oh, I see.
I mean, you would attempt to jump it then.
All right, athletics checks from everybody who's trying to jump it. 15, 22, 15, 7.
About right.
Yep. Everybody, you're able to sort of jump over. Agni, for a brief moment, you jump, and as you land for the most part off to the other side, you see as your foot just sort of gets caught and stuck in the water.
And seeing that, Azora said, just think to yourself that you want to be over here. And that's the best she could do for you.
Have faith, big one.
I think that I want to be away from this water.
Oh man, that's well. Hold on. Is that, or do you do anything else, or do you just say that out loud?
He says that out loud.
All right. Agni remains in.
Azor will come and lean down, crouch down next to you, and she said, my friend, like you said, it's not fair, but out here in these strange lands, everything seems to have purpose or a bit of spirit to it. Although you don't fear this thing, this water has some sort of spirit with it. That's something we must at least respect, even if we don't understand. You may free yourself from it, but it seems the only way to do so is to let go and imagine where you want to be placed.
Yes, I want to be away from the water. I am imagining it, so why is it not happening?
It makes sense your hatred towards it.
If that's the case, why does it not let me go?
Have you ever, Agni, speak to yourself within your head?
More than you might know.
Perhaps you can try. You know those moments on the battlefield when things are getting very tense. Split decisions must happen, and sometimes you close your eyes to imagine a strategic position for but a brief moment. If that is something you've ever done, perhaps you could try that here. Close your eyes and imagine, not just say it out loud, but imagine where you want to be placed.
I'm imagining being away from this water. Agni's getting very frustrated. He's about to start casting spells at this water.
Oh boy. Agni, make a
I want to say, Addy Dark, frustrated, moves over to Agni and pushes him in the water and says,
Oh shit! Wait, you push him into the water?
Oh, wow.
Alright, well, first off, you're gonna push him in, because I assume Agni would try to resist. Alright, Addy Dark, make an athletics check. Agni, make an athletics check.
I'm gonna help Agni resist.
I don't know if you'd be able to in this. Yeah, because he is, like, this is just Just an immediate push. 25. Oh god, you gotta beat a 20. Nah.
My rolls have been absolutely terrible today.
For flavor text, I don't want to sound come off. You know, I just want it to be like more of a, you know, like loving teacher showing you how to swim. But I
Bro,
don't.
you push this man into the one thing he hates. Yeah, that's very loving.
Oh man. Oh no.
We get
So
over our fears in my tribe this way, and I give him a gentle push into the gentle,
as
loving.
you do, with almost unexpected strength, Agni begin to stumble backwards and you embed yourself smack dab into the water, sort of submerged into it. You immediately just almost, I assume, out of reaction, begin to try to fight it, and just you cannot move the bottom half of your body. Barely even that of your, or barely one arm is sort of left free as you're just sort of flailing for a second. What do you do?
Oh, I got one harm free.
One arm free.
I'm casting Burning Hands.
Burning hands. Oh god. Yep, burning hands, and you can cast that spell and tell me where you angle it. I saw
He's
that
aiming
coming.
it- He's angling it towards the water and towards Addy Dark.
So like a sort of upward sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right, smart.
Oh boy.
Cast the spell so we can roll the save throw and all that stuff. And Adidork, you actually have advantage on this because of Danger Sense, your level 2 ability. Because you can see the fire coming before you, and you're trained for danger at any time.
Do I have to roll anything? Or?
It is about to. That's why I was just waiting for the burning hands to be casted.
Cora would jump in to help Agni to shore.
All right. That said, oh god, 17 points of fire damage. All right, make a dexterity saving throw with advantage, Addy Dark. So it is Alt click for advantage, and Cora, you immediately
that
jump into the
burning
water
hands
and
is
submerge
lit.
yourself. At that point, you just try to fight for a brief second, and you see as you just begin to remain stuck there for a moment.
You said dexterity?
Yep, dexterity. It should pop up on your screen.
And you said alt click?
Yep, Alt for advantage.
Oh,
no,
wow.
no point for rolling the second time. That said, you take a total of 8 points of damage, because you always got to round down, unless specified. That said, you see as bits of your entire skin begins to slowly burn as Agni sets to the water, the ground, and you on fire. As it happens, you see it's just an angered face. What are all of you guys doing?
Cora jumped in to try to assist Agni, bring him closer to the edge or to land.
How did that work?
That being
Mama
said,
say-
Cora, you do not go anywhere.
Cora, Agni, do not fight it.
Have faith, big one. You're stronger than the water. Only if you have faith.
He basically, like, claimed that you want less. But, like, you
Agni's going to keep fighting it.
Oh man, you see as Agni just begins to fight and fight and fight. That's
Does Cora's both hands are stuck?
yeah, at the moment, depending on what you're doing right now.
So her hands are like in the water?
Yeah, I'd assume if you just sort of jumped in immediately.
Okay.
That said, Agni is still fighting. Cora, are you just sort of like trying to move and flail about and all that stuff?
Cora would try to put like her hand on his shell to like try to calm him.
I'll tell you
Yeah,
what,
she would try-
make a wisdom saving throw, Cora.
like, it hits regardless, but it you half.
Oh,
Oh, you got
21.
21. Alright. With a 21, eventually you sort of calm yourself and calm your senses, and as you do, you begin to place that of a hand onto Agni's shell. As you begin to sort of stop, breathe for a moment, and just sort of allow yourself to float. That said, Agni, you do feel Cora's sort of touching the back of your shell. You doing anything?
No.
Alright. Agni still remains there.
Azor will yell out, Cora, just imagine yourself floating towards my voice. So she essentially wants, as Cora's hands on the shell, she's hoping that, like, if Cora envisions herself floating towards her, it kind of inadvertently also pushes Agni. That's kind of what she's hoping for here.
That's it. Cora, do you do that?
Yeah. But if she's moving but he's not moving, then she would try to hold on to him, even if it meant her staying in the water.
Yeah, as you kind of do, you just sort of crash into sort of Agni and try to pull Agni as much as you can, but he's not budging. Oh, man.
She would keep yelling, same thing to Agni, like, close your eyes and imagine yourself coming towards my voice. Don't speak it, just close your eyes and imagine it for a moment.
Agni, do you refuse?
Agni's eyes, he's not closing his eyes in this water. This is like, when someone gets in quicksand, this is what it's like right now. He is pissed off, he is angry, he is not a calm person to begin with. And yeah, he's imagining himself away from this water, as far away as possible.
Oh boy. That said, Agni, make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Alright, I'm predicting a 4.
5.
Damn.
Oh.
Can I give myself disadvantage?
If you want. That's up to you.
No, I'll leave it.
Alright, that said, 18. So Agni, as you begin to sort of like sit there and kind of try to imagine yourself as far as possible, not sort of giving into this sort of thing, you see as slowly begin to just kind of move for a bit, and as soon as you begin to even just sort of think about it, you just begin to sort of reside there. Azora, and Cora. Even you, or yeah, only Azora and Cora. Yeah, you too, Zaman. I always forget about that. You guys almost begin to recall a certain sort of fable or a tale, kind of similar to this sort of moment. You're not able to put your sort of finger on it, but it was something along the lines of some individual just sort of refusing to sort of reside on the, or to kind of let the water take them. From what you can kind of remember, they kind of resided in the water for almost days, even unwilling to move.
Zaman would say, Agni, the more you resist, the longer you will be in the water. And I know you hate the water.
When I casted Burning Hands before on the water, I'm guessing nothing happened.
No.
See how many more spell slots I got?
Cora would try to, like, she's calm, but she would try to see if she can, like, move Agni slowly towards Addy Dart. Because in Cora's mind is, if she can, like, get Agni to Addy Dark, who pushed him in there, it would get him to go against Agni Dark, but most importantly, get him out the water.
Well, yeah, if he's thinking about hating me, yeah, why not think about hating me? Or secure him right there.
Wait, so Cora, one more time, explain exactly what you're trying to do.
Cora's trying to move Agni towards Addy Dart, and her thought process is, because Addy pushed Agni in the water, if he can get him close to Addy, Agni will try to get up there and do whatever he's gonna do to Addy Dart.
Yeah, see, the thing is, Agni's not moving regardless of what you do at the moment.
Oh, okay, never mind. She's just trying.
Yeah. That said, Agni, make a perception check for me. 14. You begin to kind of, as you reside there, just sort of angry and sort of almost hateful to this entire situation, just wanting to be as far away from this area as possible. You begin to see as almost the winds begin to sort of blow. And you swear in the corner of your eye, you begin to see something begin to kind of bloom not too far from here. A small sort of a flower not too far. Only about right here. And as this begins to sort of happen, you begin to almost feel a similar sort of almost what's the right way to put it? I guess really, for lack of better words, just strange and almost sort of irritable presence begins to sort of surround you for a moment. It doesn't feel natural, feels almost completely opposite of you, against you and everything that you stand for. But it begins to sort of almost wash over you, and you hear a voice enter your head. Oh boy. Why do you resist?
This is all in my head, correct?
All in your head.
I don't want to actually do this because I don't know how it would sound, but you just hear Agni yelling.
Oh man.
As the mama said, calm down, Acne, calm down.
This is in my head. He's
Oh,
like
yelling in your head?
Oh, are you yelling in your head?
Yeah, he's like screaming in his head, essentially. I can do it, I just no idea how it's going to sound.
Yeah, I got what you mean. So, as this is sort of happening, you see as or you almost sort of feel a little bit of this sort of muzzle placed amongst your sort of mouth. It begins to sort of loosen for a brief moment. You almost see as a little bit of a bit of the metal begins to sort of fall off and into that of the water, as you begin to just sort of scream out with all this sort of anger as much as possible. And you just see now it is fine. Let your hatred sort of take you. But you have been in this situation all the same. There's no need to let other things restrain you. As you said before, you've been shackled, you've been restrained by too many people. Why let the water be another one? Such a simple thing.
It would look like, for the time being, Agni's going to he's about to cast Burning Hands again, and he kind of just stops. I have one hand free right now, right?
Yes.
Is the other hand stuck in the water?
Yes.
The one free hand is going to, beforehand, his whole, the crystals in his arm were probably, glowing. They're gonna start sort of powering down so they don't look like they're glowing. His arm is going to relax, but his facial expression is still quite flustered.
As it begins to happen, Agni, your other arm becomes free for a moment. And for a brief moment, you see as Agni begins to sort of inch closer and closer towards the edge. And eventually just sort of spill off to the other side, free from the water. There's no need for another shackle. Be free.
Zaman would help him up as he comes over.
Agni in his head just kind of, this whole time before he was screaming, and it kind of calms down a bit. He doesn't say anything, but he does nod and acknowledge. The words that were in his head are correct, though he doesn't want to admit it right now.
That said, Agni, you may move your token and such onto the other edge. That said, eventually, Adidark, you look over towards him and he's able to, with the well, for the most part, ease his way up. And with a bit of help of Zaman, manage to get to the other side. Cora, eventually you're able to sort of move into the legs of the water, I'm assuming. That's what you would want to do. And get to the other end. That said, 6 individuals, all on the same side, out of the water.
Cora will look at Agni and just give him a nod. But she understands that Agni's frustrated, so she doesn't even expect even a look back at her. She just nods.
Zaman says to Agni, sorry you had to go through that. We have certain rash people in this group, but we should proceed.
And Gore pats him on the back. You had some faith, big one. You're not scared of the water anymore?
Agni has walked off after Zaman said that.
Easy enough.
As he's walking off, Adidark says, "Yes, conquer the fear is all the work. With brute force. Well done."
Alright. As you guys continue off, traveling this direction, oh boy. You guys eventually, traveling amongst this sort of small little river, it begins to eventually end, and you guys come across the likes of actually a dirt path in the midst of a forest. As it begins to sort of narrow off at this point, you guys see this map. Now, I wasn't able to get this map completely accurate, but that's fine. Granted, the trees around, they're not necessarily as green, they're more of sort of colorings of sort of red, oranges, and yellows and whatnot. And for the most part, a lot of the leaves are actually dead or dying. Alright. You guys see this area. Oop, and it's loading. Now it is. There we go. Alright. Looking about this kind of area, it seems to be kind of like a clearing following this sort of main path and road. Eventually, you do find one thing of note, which seems to be a bronze sort of statue of a horned individual, and they seem to be sort of holding a gong of the sorts. But beside it, you see 2 individuals. One larger individual who seems to be a mushroom with legs, and another smaller individual with a sort of massive bag on his back, and they seem to be sort of staring at the gong. If you see these individuals, oh boy. Also, thank you guys for the raid. I'm DMing at the moment, so I won't be able to thank each and every single one of you, but thank you guys so much. Alright. That said, as they're sort of staring off towards the gong,
The mom says, we should approach with caution. This is the first, I guess. The last creatures we ran into were quite hostile, as he's referring to the wolves. And we don't know what these creatures are about.
Azura would agree, and she'll say, "Well, they haven't attacked us yet. That is different for a change."
Keep in mind, they have not
Different for
noticed you at all.
sure, but not necessarily good.
Um, can we see what they're doing? Like, do they look like they're praying or just talking amongst each other?
Not necessarily talking amongst one another, they seem to be sort of just looking towards the kind of gong. Maybe talking softly to one another, but mainly just sort of looking towards the statue.
Sensei, if you're talking, you're muted.
Oh. Oh, what the son of a bitch. Chat could hear me though. Chat could hear me, they knew. But what you could pretty much see, they're not really like, they haven't noticed you at all. They're not looking at you guys, like, at all. They're more focused on this sort of statue and the gong off to the side, with their kind of backs turned.
I don't know why I can't click the screen. Hold on. What is this? No. But is this area right here? For some reason, I can't click the screen. Is this walk upable?
Yeah, you can just walk off to the to the side. It's a little incline, but yeah.
Okay.
Before anyone starts going up there, they you should not disturb anyone. Seems to be some form of religious. Let's keep moving.
I mean,
Zoro said, Addy Doc, I don't know about you, but we have no clue where we are, what's part of the world, anything. Simply knowing the name of a nearby town or city is better than nothing.
agreed.
We won't disturb them for long, but just one quick question. At least directions to the nearest place. If they do not know, we go about our way.
I'll stay here in case we are to be flanked.
Perhaps that was their sight up ahead.
You mean behind?
Fire was still warm.
At this point,
good.
you would see, as Agni, you begin to sort of walk off and continue forward. You would notice as this individual begin to sort of look towards you and begin to just immediately look down towards their friend before eventually noticing all the likes of you behind. They immediately sort of back up for a brief moment, and you'll see as this sort of red panda individual. That said, oh boy, Azora, actually, any of you know? As any of you from Jaded Dragon Valley, make a history check for me.
Her memory's trash per usual.
Oh man,
just goes with the character.
Zaman, with your 12, most you would know that this individual is known to be a ringtail. One of the many variations of them, specifically the red panda variant. At the very least, from what you know, Zaman, the main sort of kinds are red pandas, skunks, or raccoons. Individuals who have gained the blessing of Karametras among all the other sort of animal folk.
Copy. Zaman would say, that is a ringtail, a red panda to be specific. It is blessed by Karametra.
Azora, not knowing any that means, she'll just nod, and she'll call out to them, and she'll say, "Pardon us, we do not mean to disturb, but could we trouble you with at least a question?"
You see, as the red panda begins to speak, and it just also to sort of mention this guy has a massive sort of like a bag of materials and sort of things amongst him, and those of you with a passive perception above 12, you see something sort of rumbling and kind of tumbling about in that of his bag, but he begins to sort of hold his hands out. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, Well, I guess at least you didn't try to attack us immediately. Should-
Yeah.
Have you been attacked by other people you've met?
Well, there was, couple things. But, well, wait, hold on. Who are you? You don't seem to have a bit of this sort of light coursing amongst you.
Yes.
Who are you people?
We seen creatures like that as well. They came upon us, but I'm going to be honest with you, are not even sure where we are. We are just individuals looking for answers, really, in directions. If directions are something you could provide, we will take them and be well on our way.
Hold on one second. Yeah. You'll see as the mushroom-looking individual begins to look you up and down and then begins to just slowly place a hand onto the red panda's shoulder and just nods. You'll see as the red panda is sort of like shaken for a bit and then is pretty much reassured. Hello, travelers. That being said, you see as he begins to sort of step up. And keep in mind, this guy is massive in size. Probably standing at about 9 feet tall. With this sort of massive, sort of mossy staff with bits of mushrooms sort of coursing amongst his arm as well as just his person. I guess to show off what they look like, here, I'll do that so you guys can get the full picture. Boop. You guys see this, and you guys see this. And as this is, for the second one, it's loading. As for the second one, you also begin to see as immediately just sort of jumping out of this giant individual's bag, it's sort of almost flocking sort of a white sort of beast in nature. It seems to be a duck? No, a goose. As well, you see this shit sort of flying out.
What in the madness?
Oh, goodness. That said, you see as this sort of goose begins to just go flying off and begins to immediately jump off this sort of cliffside. You'll see as the individual begins to sort of try to dash over towards them. However, it's too late. The thing is gone. Dang it. And there it goes again.
Which way did it go?
It's running this way. It's going. It is trying to sprint away.
Will Gore be fast enough to catch that?
You can certainly try. Rush over and make a animal handling check for me. Or if you just want to straight up grab it, make an athletics check. I'm trying to get the token for some reason. It wasn't working.
Slippery bird.
8. So now as you try to reach over towards it, you see as you wrap your hands around it, it just begins to almost or turn that of its neck and almost dart further and further into the likes of the trees and to the forest over here. It is running away and it is making pace. That said, well, while that is happening, you see as Gore is chasing after a goose. This individual doesn't really even know what to do. But that said, what are the rest of you all doing as you see this?
Azora asked the tall individual, do you know what land we're in?
Yes. You are in the valley. The Valley of Dragons. Shaded Dragon Valley, to be specific. As he kind of sort of talks with this, you kind of have to sort of really listen into him as he has this really soft spoken voice. Are you looking for specifics on where and everything, any landmarks?
Yes, I think that would be useful.
Well, you all seem, for the most part, okay. You are not too far from, as I believe, and you'll see as he begins to sort of, look up towards the islands floating about. Not too far from the two clans and whatnot. I believe they're called Masadan. No. Trodden. Samadan. Sorry, Samada clan is what they call themselves. As well as Yoruda or something like that. I'm not too familiar with them. I don't know if they live there, but I know that's where it is. At least before everything changed. This is
Do either of these clan names sound familiar?
oh boy. To the two Oculi and Korra, you're goddamn right it does. Both of you make a history check with advantage. Or all three of you make a history check with advantage. Nat 30s, hey, welcome to the stream. Thank you guys so much for the raid. Appreciate you guys. You guys are freaking awesome. That said, I am DMing at the moment, so I won't be able to pay too much attention to chat. But thank you guys so much. Much love, much love.
Flashes of greatness, boy.
21, 11, 15. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. So here's what happened. Oh, go
Zora
ahead.
just had brain blast.
Well, yeah, something similar. Something similar. All right, we'll start from the bottom. Zaman, you definitely, after hearing those names, you know them to be Oculi names, specifically Oculi clan names. Those being probably the two biggest, if not, and arguable to some, probably not to you, maybe even the most powerful Oculi clans, and at least in number. Korra. You, after just hearing those words, the floating islands off to the side, you realize why it seems familiar to you. You remember long ago, before you were sort of encased in this body, the Yasuda, even as a Kalashtar, they decided to take you in. You grew up with them, you lived with them, you trained with them. Hence your sort of quiet sort of nature. Individuals at least having or the ability to sort of speak telepathically to one another. The Samadans, not necessarily too familiar, as this, again, most of this sort of, or most of your memories are sort of foggy to you. But Azora, you immediately remember this. You recall not only just the clans, but you recall long ago a memory that almost feels like it wasn't yours. If you in the likes of a tavern, speaking to multiple individuals as well as or another individual in Zaman in a humanoidish sort of form, off to the side, playing darts with an individual, dark-skinned, dreadlocks and more. An individual who claimed themselves to be a part of the Samadan clan, capable of telekinesis, trying to one-up you in a competition. As it begins to almost become clear, you almost feel as if bits and pieces of your mind are coming back to you before, Azora, you feel your curse beginning to almost sort of swell once more, but it sort of stays at bay for just a moment. That said, what do you guys say and what do you guys do?
Zaman says, "Oh, those are two quite powerful Oculi clans."
Oculi. What's his strange name? What is that?
Zaman would say, "People who have made a pact with the devil."
I see. That being said, well, that's all happening over there. Meanwhile, Gore, you're still chasing this goose?
Yeah, seems about right.
Make another athletics check. Addy Dark, what are you also doing? Same thing with you, Agni.
I'm just maintaining my post.
Alright, easy enough.
Yeah.
Oh man, Gore, as you try to like almost dolphin dive tackle after the goose, you see as it begins to get the better of you and just barely ducks out of the side, you almost crash into the likes of a tree. No effect. That said, you see as it begins to scurry off, and at this point it's almost getting ready to sort of dive off and sort of travel further into the forest, never to be seen again. Make one final athletics check for me.
Boy, we'll try.
4? That dude's gone. You see as immediately you're chasing after it, and you're just about to wrap yourself around its neck, and it ducks underneath, and you just crash into the likes of a branch. And you sort of drop down for a brief moment, sort of startled, nowhere to be seen. You do at least see its tracks, but it is gone.
Hilarious. Gore's like, a slippery creature. Gore will find another one. And he yells up, little furry creature, you're a bird. I was trying to think what I would say. He was a slippery one. You got away today. Gore will help you find him.
Oh man. Well, it is what it is. It's gonna cost me a bit. You know, it's really hard to find actually walking animals, you know, made of flesh. But, whatever, what can you do? Appreciate you for at least trying.
Cost you? Where, do you have a place that you sell your goods?
Well, he'll look towards his giant bag. Not really an establishment, but more of a sort of walking business, if you will.
Who are you selling to? Are there people nearby besides the clans your friends mentioned?
Well, he'll look towards the mushroom individual. That said, I guess yeah, all of you. I don't think you. Yeah, you guys don't know. Yeah, none of you do know. Yep. As you look towards the individual, or as the red panda looks towards the individual, he kind of tries to check for confirmation. Micah nods and says, well, individuals, anybody that we just sort of pass by, ran past a couple of fine folk. But that was a couple of suns ago. Say, just by chance, have you ran into anybody recently besides, you know, the sort of starry ones or anything like that? Kind of looking like me a little bit?
No, just some orcs. But none like you, furry one. Little furry.
Sees he sort of has a little bit of a sad expression, but I figured as much. But, to answer your question, yeah, I mean, well, there is at least one individual that we know at least where they are. He's, quite powerful at the very least. We were on our way to them. I doubt you really heard of their name, but, a legendary samurai, if you will.
Zora ears definitely perks up as he says that. And she would ask, what is the name of this warrior?
Well, from what I know, he will look towards the kind of the blade amongst your person. Ego warrior. His name is, I believe he goes by, or at least what he tells us to call him by, is Hannibal? that ring a bell? Probably not.
Should say a warrior out here named Hannibal. If he's a samurai, as you say, then perhaps that is a individual who would know much about this land. And she says that back to like Zaman and Korra.
As Zaman would say, likely he if he's of the Bushido as you are, then he's probably highly familiar with this land.
Something like
Where
that.
where's the last place you saw him again?
Well, we were actually heading back to him. It's a little bit of a decent trek. We were just out scavenging for food. But, he's in a not too far of a little bit of a campsite from here. It's sort of a clearing in the forest.
Maybe our interests align and we should travel together.
Well,
We'll be like, which way was it?
I don't know. Lucky you and you have a good sort of, hopefully that you have it sort of keeps up. And he'll look towards, kind of saying this to himself, but also looking towards, the Myconid. And just says, well, if he trusts him, then I guess I'll trust him. It's about, east from here. Not too far, just follow the path and then just do a little bit of a clearing. Wow, you all are strangely friendly.
Zoro will say, you don't understand. It's been a long time since we encountered anyone or anything that didn't want to cause us harm. This is more of a bewilderment. We're glad to actually be able to share words with someone besides ourselves. And any information at this point is most definitely appreciated.
Well, if you're looking for information, yeah, Old Man Philo. He would be the one to do so.
Good.
You'll see as the other sort of Mike would just sort of nod his head.
She'll step to Philo and she'll say, she'll bow like her head slightly. Why? I'm sure you must be quite the wise one. And she'll ask, do you? My fault. I had to burp. do you know what is going on around here? These creatures that form with this astral lights. Have you seen much of this around this area?
You see as he begins to chuckle to himself, and right before he responds, real quick, Agni, what are you doing while this is all happening?
Oh, not good things. He is blowing off steam by burning stuff in this forest.
Oh boy. Alright, that's oh gosh. Do you have firebolt? Like, are you just casting cancers and burning shit?
I mean, he has produce flame.
Alright, that's good enough.
Hands.
Yeah, that's good enough. Alright. You guys see as Agni is burning down a forest.
Zaman will see this and say, "Oh, wait 1 second. I have to go and calm down my friend." And he will try to take the quickest path to get to Agni. How far down is this?
It's not too far. It's like only 5 to 7 feet. You can sort of slide down.
Alright, and he will come over and say Agni, I understand you're frustrated, but what would Karametra think of you burning down this forest?
I don't think you know anything about Karametra with Agni.
I also don't know anything about her.
Well, I don't know if Agni ever mentioned it. He might have in like
Sands of Sin. But
he might have. I don't know.
I could be wrong.
I've mentioned it to Jade.
Okay, maybe I don't know.
And also, I wouldn't know who you were talking about either.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, he would say either way, You should not be burning down this forest. There could be potential resources or anything that we could use here. We don't know what lives in this.
Resources here, Zaman. Shut up.
Oh. What the mom would say. This could lead to worse things. And he would kind of just, I guess, go off and start scouting in the forest.
I said, as you do. I make an investigation check, Zaman. That being said, Addy Dark, you would have definitely at least noticed Agni sort of burning down the forest. That would be one thing, you know, going off on your watch.
Would it be like, is it growing, or is it like?
Oh yeah, it's spreading. It's bad. It's growing very bad.
Is this a ledge?
Yeah, you can sort of jump down. Now, at this point, you're about 10 or so feet up, but you can just, again, a little bit of time, you're able to climb down if you want.
She's actually just wants to sit on a ledge. She's not even gonna go all the way down.
All right. That said, as you guys are doing that, 18 with your investigation check. Zaman, you find the likes of a bit of materials, but it seems to be in the process of almost getting burnt. Like from the fire just sort of spreading, but a couple of crates behind this massive sort of boulder. That's it.
Zaman would scream out to Agony and say, "Stop!" and try to collect the materials.
All right, investigation check with disadvantage.
Copy. Yeesh.
With a 9, it seems to be the bits of the fire, and you're having a little bit of trouble as the smoke's sort of getting to you. It's kind of like almost, it's not necessarily the fact that you can't really breathe, as you don't really need to worry about that, but it's almost more of an instinctual thing. The thing that's getting in your way is that of the smoke, or the smoke being into your sight. You're able to sort of sift around, but the main thing that you really find is just a simple soul coin, and that is all.
These are just cool with forest burning, out of curiosity.
Say it again.
The NPCs, so the little.
Oh, we're gonna get to that. Oh boy, but this is just all happening while they're getting ready to have that conversation. And
I'll definitely sprint over to Agni and say, "Calm yourself. This is no time to burn the forest down. You will reveal ourselves to the enemy." Is he just casting fires, bro?
Doesn't say anything to you.
Bro, you're just like a flamethrower? How bad is this?
I mean, in his eyes, it's probably bad, but in his eyes, it's not that bad just yet. He is kind of using control flames and
here, I guess I can
him
draw this
blowing off
out.
steam.
I will draw this out basically to how far the fire has spread. This entire fucking tree is destroyed about right here. All of that is on fire at the moment.
When I responded, he said,
Oh, he doesn't respond to you.
he's just blown away. All right, bro.
Oh goodness.
I will move closer and I will say again, Agni, calm yourself.
At this point, he will start walking over here and sort of stop himself for a moment. Or as he's getting ready to talk to Zora. That said, are you guys doing anything?
No response? No response, bro?
I mean, he's just standing there now.
So you're not blowing any more fire out?
For right now, yeah.
Okay. Let me know if you decide to do some more fire. Please let me know. I know that your fear was hard to conquer, but you did it, friend.
He blows more fire than.
I want to restrain him, bro. He can't be.
All right, make an athletics check. Agni, make an athletics check to resist.
I kind of laughed when Addy Dark said that to Agni, because she kind of knew that he was gonna do that again.
Oh man. That said, you will watch as bits of the greenery around, well, Old Man Fowl will sort of tap or almost place his staff into the ground, and you'll see as bits of the wildlife around, bits of the trees begin to slowly, almost, all the leaves upon it begin to almost drop and then turn into that of mushrooms. Until there is just sort of this, oh boy, it's kind of hard to explain. All the trees around the fire begin to almost turn into that of mushrooms, except for the ones that are currently on fire. It's almost as if making it or trying to control the flames into this specific area, not putting them out, but letting them burn. And keeping it from spreading to any or anywhere past the forest. As this sort of happens, you watch as more and more mushrooms begin to sort of form around him. It begins to sort of almost lean amongst that of his staff. And then just, he kind of lets Agni sort of continue what he's doing. That said, Addy Dark with a 18, eventually you're able to just sort of restrain the likes of Agni, putting them into, I don't know if you're like, how you're trying to restrain him, whether it's like a chokehold or something. Like, what are you doing?
I got a 12 the first.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, 12. Never mind then.
Honesty, pass it on. Honesty, pass it on.
That said, never mind. Addy Dark, as you try to restrain Agni, he just sort of pushes you off and I assume, continues what he's doing.
He would slow down once he sees like the mushrooms starting to grow, but he only did that to spite Addy Dark.
Oh man.
He's cooled down for the most part, but once he said that, it pissed him off again.
Such an angry turtle.
Zaman will go over to him and say, apologies, my friend is letting off some steam.
It is fine. He is angry. Let him vent. And besides, more begins to join with the community. Not this one. But I fear that it won't be enough. Not enough of a mark.
Random things.
But, as he's sort of saying that, the likes of Azora and Gore, you guys see as the red panda individual begins to just try to jump down. I still don't know his name yet, but, he jumps down, trying to haphazardly look over to the side. Ooh, that's, not good. Is he always like that? He'll just sort of say that softly to Gore.
Not really. Usually the big one is the more rational, so to speak. But he's had a run-in with water. He hates water.
But there's no water around.
What? Have you not seen the water ahead? A waterfall runs.
Oh, you're referring to that. I'm referring to, like, there's no water around, so why is he angry about...
Oh, little one. He fell in back there. Gore's been with him for some time now. I've never even seen him drink the stuff.
I see. That's something. That is something. Well, here, where are my manners? He extends a hand out to you, Gore, and introduces himself and says, I am Mao, inventor for the Gaian Water Tribe.
And Gore grabs his hand, like, almost a little bit strong, like, kind of shaking it. Gore of the Meadows! Surely you've heard of me?
As you sort of shake his hand, he nearly like sort of falls over and whatnot, and nearly sort of all the bits of materials begin to nearly come crashing down. He has to sort of steady himself for a moment, but he's good. He's good to go. Haven't heard of you, actually. It's well, never mind. I haven't heard of you, but I have seen individuals, or at least heard of them, like you. Not necessarily, with the whole wings and, thing going on. Looking to your blood-filled wings at the moment.
Ah, Gore has been blessed by a god to find another god and destroy him. This is only a temporary setback. Gore's more Oni than ever.
Right. Huh. Well, that said, this is all sort of happening. Is there anything that anybody is doing at the moment? Asking any questions?
Well, so as Azora saw him, so he looked like he was trying to stop the fire from spreading, right, Philo?
Yeah, well, the things that were on fire, he just kind of let them burn, but keeping it from spreading to the rest of the forest seems to be what he was trying to do.
All right. So as Azora was watching him do that, she felt a similar feeling she felt before when her ice abilities activated, but she felt a very chill come from her sword. And she just instinctively began to walk over here, and she closes her eyes for a brief moment, and she takes out her sword and like holds it straight up as she closes her eyes, and she takes in a deep breath, and then she like pushes her like sword forward, as in going to a forward slice in order to extinguish all the flames in the 30-foot area, whatever area he didn't cover.
It'll take you a minute, but you can certainly try, because remember, this entire thing is sort of on fire, and it is still burning.
So that's what she'll be doing to try to put out the flames.
Easy enough. So that is what you're trying to do over there. All right. Zora's busy with that at the moment. Is anybody else doing anything?
Nah, Corey's just watching Agni.
All right.
Zaman will go over to
Mao, as he said.
and to introduce himself and says, "Apologies for being so rude. My name is Zaman, and you are
Mao or inventor for the Gaian Water Tribe.
an inventor."
Mm-hmm.
Zaman will look at him and say, I've actually been doing some crafting myself. He says, I'm trying to make a replacement for my arm and integrate some of this armor and weapons I have into my body. Have you ever done such a thing?
Not in my body or anything like that. Here, I'm more of the sort of how do you say it? I make a couple inventions, sort of things, not automatrons, more of, how you say, and you'll see as he just, and I'll just show you, and you see as he begins to just sort of set his giant bag out and begins to sort of ruffle through it, and begins to pull out a little small device that fits in the palm of his hand. He just sort of chucks it onto the ground, and you see as it begins to almost grow sort of spider-like legs and has almost a little bit of a turret off to the side. I make things kind of like that.
How much does it look like the spider?
It doesn't look like a spider, it just has spider-like legs.
Okay. It's not giving Gore flashbacks, is it?
Nah, it's not giving you PTSD. Oh man.
Zaman will say, that's quite fascinating. What'd you use to create that?
Just a bit of scrap metal and whatnot. A little bit of tinkering here and there. Takes a little while to do, but I've grown accustomed to it.
Do you have any tips, tricks? I've started to tinker a bit myself.
Fellow artificer, are you?
Not exactly. And then you'll see Zaman kind of not go into his mineral form, but you'll see as he's like controlling metals, and he'll like show his like the formation of his chain whip and everything else.
You see as he begins to, his eyes go wide for a brief moment. Me and you, we have a lot to talk about. Oh, good. And it seems to be integrated into your design. Did you do this? Is this a suit, or is... I'm confused. Sorry for me being rude or anything, but I'm just quite curious. I'm sorry.
This is strange. This is not my original body, but I this is my body now, and yes, this is all of me.
Hold on 1 second. Oh god. I don't think that breaks it. I think you're sort of teetering on a fine line there, Zaman. You're on a fine line.
Copy.
You do feel as if something begins to sort of tighten around your arm a little bit more, and Goryu almost begin to look over towards Zaman as he sort of winces in pain just a little bit. Everything all right?
Yeah. Yes. Either way, yes. This is my body.
Oh, that being said, well, we must be going and whatnot, and all that stuff. Did you say that you wanted to meet Hannibal? Was that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, well, here, I wanted, we were trying to see you and looking towards that sort of shrine over there, because apparently, from what Philo was sort of saying, you can receive a sort of boon or something like that. I've never really done it myself, and I said, why not? Might as well give it a try, and all that sort of stuff.
What do you have to do at the shrine?
Well, I mean, just sort of, I assume just ring the gong, and we were getting ready to, but,
Well, let's get to it then. I'm curious to see what will happen.
But here's the thing, it's not all the time, and sometimes we may gain a blessing from, I think he was saying either one of the many, yokai spirits.
Yokai? Is Gore near us?
Oh, he's right beside you.
I couldn't see him. Alright, he was a yokai. Gore. Would I know which yokai this particular statue is related to?
No. Nah.
Well, that would sound familiar because it... Right?
Yeah, Gore, you are, to an extent, a yokai. To an extent.
So, are there more yokai?
I believe so.
Or his eyes light up?
From what I know, I think maybe Philo could probably tell you a little bit more. This is just me, I've only been recently traveling here. I'm not really from specifically this place in the valley. But from what he's told me, there's two type of, well, yokai. I believe, there was, the fiendish ones, or the devil's kind, being the Akuyama, I believe is what they're referred to as. And then, well, there's the, different variation of them, typically more of celestial nature or divine nature. That being the Teniyama, or pretty much Teniyama.
Interesting. And you don't know which one of the three this particular shrine is for?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I still think we should ring this gong or do whatever ritual, just to see what happens.
Oh. You
What's-
like? Be careful. Let's see what happens.
Greedy one. Be smart.
You're not curious, Gore.
Gore is curious, but he's learned from all the adventures. Respect, at least where these gods lay. I don't wait until he wants to go up here. He'd look at it. He'd observe it. And see if anything is familiar about it. Ain't gonna take-
Make a history check for me. Or actually, this is a religion check.
Do I need to do athletic checks to get up here?
Between just walking around or climbing this, and it's only 5 feet. Nah, you're good. 17. From what you can tell, Gore, not so much. Not so much. This one is a strange one. Not able to put a finger on it.
Wow.
Mao, are you gonna join us?
Ah, yes. You'll see as he will look at his bag, and he's just gonna walk walk all the way around. All right. While they're getting ready to sort of ring the gong, or Azora, after a bit of time, it takes you a little bit, but you're able to clear the likes of the forest from burning for the most part. You're a little too late for most of it, but you're at least able to help out.
Huh?
She'll approach Philo and she'll say, I did as much as I could, but a force that's always strong. And it is always able to take care of itself, regardless of our interactions.
Your technique. It is very, very precise. Just gonna think back for a second. Oh boy, don't have much of this. Wait, did it work? There we go. Jesus Christ. Did you happen to sort of be an Ishtaran or something?
And that's who she trained with, right, Sensei?
Yeah, Ishtarans are
Okay,
the ones
yeah.
in the valley.
Yeah. She has said, I was trained in the way of the Bushido, the way of the samurai. I unfortunately can't remember much beyond that anymore.
I see. Were you a part of Bayani?
She shrugs her shoulders. She says, unfortunately, I lost a lot of my memory recently. I know how to, and she puts her hand on the hilt of the sword, and she looks up. I just know, I know the Bushido code. Beyond that, it's hard to say from who anymore.
I see. We used to send a couple of warriors, and all that stuff. Or at least some of them did, or went over there. A shame. Oh, anywho. Is it time that we, leave?
She'll nod and she'll say, but my question from earlier, these astro light thing, is this something that's been popping up here for a long time or just recently?
Well, Pains me to say it, but, I only know so much when it comes to it. You see, one thing I do know. I was, sort of taken aback when the sort of dragon came and invaded the land. Coursing with that astral light and whatnot. But, I was, younger, smaller, when it happened. Just sort of traveling, trying to make a name for myself just as a Myconid would. However, the journey got cut short when they attacked. One thing that was strange. I got aged in the process. Some aged, some didn't. Looks like I was just the unlucky one.
Well, this situation we all seem to find ourselves in. It's hard to rewind the past, but those I travel with and we look to avenge all those who are wronged by those things as we were.
One thing that kind is weird, the way this individual talks about it, he talks about it as if it was like almost many years ago or anything like that. But for you, that was like 3 days ago, maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting to note.
So, well, it is unfortunate, but truth that we have to accept. That said, if I could ask before we go, I have an idea, but what exactly are you all doing out here?
It started from looking for one of our companions, but we've had no luck with that, and so we've been just traveling, looking for shelter, civilization, anything to at least get an idea of where we were. Thanks to you all, we at least know the where. Now we have to figure out the rest. There's so much questions. It's hard to even be. Oh, I was gonna say. It's hard to even begin to start. But for right now, I'd say we're just looking for a place we could call at least a safe enough shelter to begin searching for those other answers.
I see. What of the rest of you? Call out to Adidart, Agni, and Cora. He knows what answer he's gonna get from one of you, though.
Yes, those are all silent soldiers.
Sorry,
Nice.
me. My bad.
You three.
I seek only one thing: to hunt down creatures of the night, vampires to be exact. I've lost my ways, though, landed in this strange land. I seek to only reach my home one day.
I see. Vampires. Haven't run into one myself, but what of you? Sort of look over towards Cora.
Cora would say that she's basically looking for answers. she'll leave it at that.
Answers. He'll look towards Agni, but not really expecting much of an answer. Does he get one or no?
Oh,
Are you-
I was muted. I was muted. Yeah, he gets no answer.
Yeah.
But Agni does want to insight check this weird mushroom.
Sure. What are you trying to look for?
Is he sane?
Sure. Make an insight check. 6. From what you can see, is kind of haven't been around him long enough to be able to tell. But one thing that kind of throws you off is you see a necklace amongst his form. And getting a better sight at it, it seems to be a holy symbol. A holy symbol of harvest to Karametra. And as you sort of look towards it, it's almost a bit of sort of recollection. As it begins to, it just feels familiar to you, but not entirely sure why. It seems to almost be that same symbol that you saw in the cave.
What symbol in the cave?
The one when you... Oh boy. Gotta make an intelligence check, you gotta remember.
Sure.
The one when you casted Branding Smite on the orc. You saw a symbol of holy nature. Get a fact check. Pull out the notebook.
Yeah.
Don't remember that. Okay.
God damn, even I remember.
I remember seeing it. I don't remember it being of holy nature. Huh. Oh man, going back through my notes. Damn, I'm remembering stuff I wrote down. Oh shit. Oh crap. Okay. Yeah, Agony will remember that, but he's not gonna say anything right.
That said, alright. As that's sort of happening and whatnot, meanwhile over here, you guys are ringing the gong.
Yes, sir.
Alright. So,
That way.
as you guys, hold up. As you guys begin to ring the gong, oh boy. I need Gore and Zaman make the highest saving throws you possibly have. Do you have anything? No.
How long you be hanging out with him, bro?
Oh goodness.
Is it happening again?
Oh wait, hold on. How close are you guys? Not close enough. All right. 14 and oh wait, hold on. That's it's not updated yet. 24 and 21. All right. As this happens, you guys see as the gong is sort of rang, almost a sort of oh boy. Yeah. You see as almost figures begin to sort of emerge almost behind you of sort of a sort of starry nature, but as they sort of form amongst you, they seem to dissipate, not staying. However, as it sort of echoes amongst the entire area, Cora, you see the same thing behind you before it dissipates. Adidark behind you, and then it dissipates. But behind Azora and Agni, you see behind one another figures that seem to be coursing with an astral light. Azor behind you seems to be almost a Warforged individual similar to the likes of Korra and Zaman. Agni behind you, a massive sort of bear-like creature with no sort of discernible features besides the light itself. before it begins to sort of almost dissipate and vanish. You guys all see this, or these figures before, behind them, but it's interrupted as you guys begin to see as a strange mist begins to cloud your vision, and you hear a bit of screeching coming from the likes of a forest nearby. However, we'll have to figure out what that, or what all that means on the next session for Valley of Dreams. Oh boy.
Nice.
I can only write notes so fast.
You gotta watch the VOD. Oh man. That being said, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves and all that stuff to an extent, and all that good stuff. A little bit of a social and exploration sort of a game and all that stuff, figuring out a couple of new things. But hey, you got 2 NPCs that don't want to kill you, so that's something. Well, at least they don't seem like they want to kill you at the moment. Who knows? That being said,
might not last long.
We'll have to figure out what who these individuals are, and next time. That said, I'm gonna break down stream and all that, and I will be right back. All right. Needs to revert health. All right, I got you. I see the thing that you sent earlier, V. I can fix that.
Yo, just so you know, I think you added the food to Circus in the Sand and not Valley of Dreams.
Oh, I can fix that. I think I did that once by accident. Yeah, I did that over here. 1, 2. Yeah. Oh, I'll fix that in just 1 second. Thanks for the for catching that.
Problem.
All right. There we go. There we go. We're gonna switch on over to here. Oh no! Goodness gracious, not that. What the heck? There we go. I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing out. Thank you. That being said, thank you guys for watching and everybody who decided to tune in. Special shout out to all the people who decided to raid us. That said, gonna be quick sort of announcements and all that stuff. Be sure to join the Discord if you actually want to see more of the sessions in the future, or any of the other sessions in the multiple massive universe of Project Aurora and all that stuff. Is again a giant persistent universe with multiple DMs and also several different campaigns that can all affect each other in big or small ways. That said, next stream and session will be for the Ascent, and that's going to be at Friday at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So 2 p.m. Eastern time, be sure to check it out. That said, no stream Wednesday or anything like that. We're going to keep it light for this week. So I will see you all next time. All right, bye guys. Have a good one.